Let's take a look at Johnny Gaudreau. Oh boy, get used to this as he dons the Blue Jackets.
All right, boys and girls, we are getting ready for broadcast. I'm getting set up on the colorcast side, so we are going back to our original assignment of the evening, which is the Blue Jackets and the Hurricanes because of the long rain delay of the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. So I am excited to get this one back to you for you, and I will get set up here on colorcast, and then we will get going.
Downtown area, and they love Columbus, Ohio, and they love to have an exciting night here to start the next chapter from Johnny Gaudreau starts in Columbus tonight. And it's one of those seasons that you look forward to. It's been a long summer, but exciting and anticipated to this point. You mentioned excitement. Well, the offseason didn't end there as the Blue Jackets extend Patrick Laine. Tons of excitement. And yeah, Patrick Laine. There was a little bit of talk,
All right.
it was going to happen all along. The architect said Patrick Laine.
So I know we're getting set on the Bally Sports Ohio side. It's the feed that I got right now from ESPN Plus coverage. So let's give you your starting lineup, shall we, for both teams as we're really getting ready for puck drop here. So let's start with the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's Boone Jenner, Johnny Gaudreau, Patrick Laine, Zach Werenski, Adam Boqvist, with Jack Roslovic, Igor Chinnikov, with Jakub Voracek on the second line, with Vladislav Gurikov on the second line defense with Andrew Peak. It's Cole Sillinger, Gustav Nyquist, and Justin Danforth, with Jake Bean and Erica Branson. The pickup from the Calgary Flames will be on that third line. And your fourth line will be Sean Corrali, Eric Robinson, and Matthew Olivier, with Elvis Merzlikins maybe in net, but this could be Daniel Tarasov, because I see Ms. Merzlikins, has a designated injury category, so we will see who is going to be the starting goaltender of the night. So let's kind of pull that up here if we can. All right, so this is, let's see if I can get today's concurrent, because right now it has Merzlikins with an injury designation. I don't think they would be starting Jonas Korpisalo, but that could be the case. So let's go down and see if we can find it. Scratches is Liam Foudy, Nick Blankenburn, and Elvis Merzlikins. So it is Daniel Tarasov in goal. So we will change that. So Merzlikins must have been a late scratch with the flu or something like that. Hopefully it's not a COVID situation for Merzlikins. So considering, I'll put it to you like this, because I had notes on Merzlikins and Korpisalo, but considering Tarasov is in there, there could be an issue with some of the goaltending, as we're talking about for Columbus, and we'll get that going forward. For the Carolina Hurricanes, it sounds like this: Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, and Seth Jarvis on that first line, with Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns coming over from the San Jose Sharks. It's Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Andrei Svechnikov, and Marty Necas, with Brady Shea and Brett Pesce. They're usually on that line together on the second line, probably one of the best second line defensive lines you could have in the NHL. It's Jordan Stahl, Paul Stastny, and Jesper Fast, with Calvin DeHaan and Jalen Chatfield, and then Derek Stepan, Jordan Martinook, and Andre Kasha will be on the fourth line for the Carolina Hurricanes. So we're really still getting ready for puck drop, and I'm giving you some pregame notes here. So when I think about Andre Kasha, we had some of those notes from about a month and a half ago when I did the trade deadline show there with Cooper Hopkins. He's a guy that can get you a lot of points. He's just got to be able to stay healthy. When you have him on the Boston Bruins, you have some of the stuff with him on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Andre Kasha is still young. He's still about 26. He's still pretty good. So putting him on a fourth line can hopefully kind of alleviate some of the lost numbers that you would have with no longer having, Niederreiter and Vincent Trocheck. And that is the hope. And Freddie Anderson will be tending the net for the Carolina Hurricanes. Freddie Anderson is one of those guys that was sorely missed in the postseason when it was pretty much Antti Ranta's net. And Peter Kochetkov maybe had to come in a game or two to dispel Ranta because he was just doing all he could, but he was a backup goalie for a reason. It was Ranta's first start going into the postseason, and he got them almost through 2 rounds where they lost to the New York Rangers in 7 games to the Carolina Hurricanes. But make no mistake about it, Carolina is still in that same mold where they need to be able to do as much damage as they can. So hopefully this is going through. I don't see it going through on this side. Let's try again. So we will see if this is picking up.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
So hopefully this is going through on the ColorCast side. Test. Okay. I'm just going to assume that's going through there. We're good on the YouTube side, so we'll just be getting ready for puck drop here shortly. So, as it stands, as we're getting ready for puck drop, probably in a couple minutes or so, we'll go back to the original assignment of the day, which was the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. I contemplated doing the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves, but because of the long extended rain delay, there really was no point. I know there's going to be more coverage of that on there on ColorCast side and Twitter Spaces. So going with this original assignment that I had on Wednesday anyway is a good thing. So the Columbus Blue Jackets, when we get ready for puck drop, they go last season 37, 38, and 7, 81 points. I'm looking at Johnny Gaudreau right now on the Bally Sports Ohio side. We're at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. So this could not be a bigger debut, I think, for somebody like this, for Johnny Gaudreau. And if Cooper Hopkins was with me, 9 NHL seasons, all in Calgary, 602 games, 210 goals, 399 assists. So he can get his 400 assist tonight. He's getting 1 point, a plus 85. So this is a sight for sore eyes for Blue Jackets fans that want to get back into the postseason. They want to have a explosive player. I think the last time the Blue Jackets really had somebody like that, you'd think of Rick Nash, the longtime tenured Columbus Blue Jacket. Last season, 40 goals, 75 assists, 115 points, and a plus 64. The plus 64 led the NHL. And they're just getting an interview here before game time on Bally Sports Ohio of Johnny Gaudreau. So the anticipation's high. I will be here with you regardless of that. And full game coverage will follow at hopelessportsguy.wordpress.com. And as we go forward, probably within these broadcasts, maybe I'll go a little bit 10 minutes after scheduled start just to make sure that we get everything ready because I'm already here pretty early.
To get this first one in play here.
Well, you're excited. The fans in Columbus are excited. The organization's excited. So, welcome to Columbus. Have fun up there tonight, and we're going to enjoy watching you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Jody. Well done. Well, not only the Blue Jackets, of course, beginning season number 22, but how about the Carolina Hurricanes?
If you can believe it, as they say on the Bally Sports Ohio side, it's the 22nd season for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They haven't had a lot of success as far as an organization, but I would be hard-pressed not to admit that Johnny Gaudreau is one of the biggest off-season acquisitions that we've had. Again, they just have the camera plastered all over him as they're getting set for national anthem and puck drop in PNC in Raleigh, North Carolina. So again, we'll just do this really quickly for the ColorCast and YouTube side. Starting lineups: Boone Jenner, Johnny Gaudreau, Patrick Laine, with Zach Werenski and Adam Boquist, Jack Roslovic, Igor Chinikov, with Jakub Voracek, Vladislav Gurikov, and Andrew Peak on the second line defense. Cole Solinger, Gustav Nyquist, Justin Danforth, Sean Corrali, Eric Robinson, and Matthew Olivier, with Jake Breen and Eric Branson. Daniel Tarasov will get the start in that as Elvis Merzlikins was a game time scratch. For the Carolina Hurricanes, it'll be Sebastian Aho, Tebow Teravainen, and Seth Jarvis, with Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns since coming over from the San Jose Sharks in the offseason. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Andrei Svechnikov with Marty Necas, and then Brady Shea and Brett Pesce. Again, on that second line defense, there's pretty much stalwarts there. Jordan Stahl, Paul Stastny, and Jesper Fast with Calvin DeHaan and Jalen Chatfield. It's Derek Stefan, Jordan Martinook, and Andre Kasha on the fourth line. So Carolina, they have some departures that are big. And Vincent Trocheck and Nito Niederreiter. Vincent Trocheck went to the New York Rangers. Nito Niederreiter's already got a couple wins with the Nashville Predators in those games in Prague over the San Jose Sharks. So this should be a big-time matchup. I know it is just game one for both of these teams. But still, as the national anthem is going on, I sense the anticipation and the limelight's going to be on Johnny Gaudreau. And even though I'm looking on the ESPN Plus Valley Sports Ohio side, I imagine they're going to talk about that considerably on the Carolina Hurricanes side for Valley Sports. So this should be a big game for Johnny Gaudreau. So an illness day-to-day is Elvis Merzlikins. He was 27, 23, and 7. Daniel Tarasov will get the start in net. And if you're talking about a low point here, for the Columbus Blue Jackets, it was their goaltending. Their goaltending just did not get the job done. When you're looking at, and I have my notes here, Elvis Merzlikins, as we said, 27, 23, 7, 322 goals against, 907 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. And Jonas Korpisalo was the backup, 22 games played, 7-11 and nothing, 415 goals against, and 877. And now you have the third string of Daniel Tarasov starting. So they've got to be better. There is no bones about it. So we are getting ready for the official puck drop, everybody. We are at PNC Arena. John out here with you. We are in Carolina. It's the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes as they're getting their season started, and Johnny Gaudreau will be on the ice for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Carolina's got it now in the defensive zone, but Columbus will intercept, and then Carolina will pick this one up there with Jordan Stahl. So the third line is out there for Rod Brind'Amour, and it's been a few times since the start of January in Colorcast. I'm only just starting on YouTube a couple months ago. I've covered Carolina extensively a little bit, and they will shuffle their lines, and they're not afraid to send 4 deep at you and score. Sebastian Aho racing down an open left wing, trying to bank it off the cage of Tarasov. Again, he is starting tonight because Elvis Merzlikins was a late scratch. So there is an air and sense of anticipation of this game, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I will be on the full coverage, hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com, after this game is done with a complete play-by-play upload. Seth Jarvis worked off the puck there by Andrew Peak and Niskarikov. We'll go ahead and pick this one up as Columbus looks to break out left to right across the timeline. They will dump this in deep of the Carolina defensive zone as I pull up my depth chart and lines in front of me. And then I will also, when we get upon break, pull up the ESPN box score to give you some stats. So Tebow Teravainen pass across. Calvin DeHaan lets the shot go, and it was stopped by Tarasov with the left pad. Carolina still circles this around as this goes back to Calvin DeHaan. He flutters a shot toward the right side post, but that goes wide, and Carolina goes back in behind with Andrei Svechnikov. Don't know if he tried to pull the Michigan move, but he gets it back to Jesperi Kotkaniemi, the former Montreal Canadian. He was pretty good there, as he was just signed last season there by the Carolina Hurricanes. Kotkaniemi's shot gets blockered aside there by Tarasov, and the Hurricanes were able to buzz for about a minute and a half before the puck was stopped there by Tarasov and held. So we will pull up our ESPN box score. I'm sure they're going to talk about Johnny Gaudreau ad nauseum, and again, I think they should. There is no doubt about that. Let's pull up our box score of the NHL side of things. It's a fast team for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and they got just faster now because you also have Patrick Laine on the same line with Gaudreau. So that should lead you to all sorts of intrigue. Carolina wins the draw, and this is in the Columbus defensive end as they're trying to break out right now. Columbus just gets this one down the zone as this goes to Jordan Martinook. He gets sandwiched there by Columbus, and another good hit there by Columbus to free this across the red line. They have to go back into their own end and get reset here, as I believe the second line defense is out right now. Turned over, but Columbus will get back on this thing in their own end. Shot there by Derek Stefan, and a good save by Tarasov. Slavin lets it go through the screen, and that one goes just wide. Here's a chance for Boquist as he's holding off the backhand. He keeps this alive near the left side dot as this is rattled around the kick plate of the goal cage of Freddie Anderson. Loose out in front, Solinger looking for the wraparound, and Jordan Martinook gets that one out of safety. Carolina is going to go ahead and take their changes, and this falls back to Andrew Peak on the defensive side of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So it's Vladislav Gurikov and Andrew Peak on the second line defense there right now. Jack Roslovic, remember him just from a couple years ago from the Winnipeg Jets. We will see how that one works out again. It's not the offense that's been a problem here for Columbus. It's been that defense and goaltending. They need to improve that, and they also need, as the puck goes out of play, Zach Werenski to return to form. He is an elite defender, but they do need him to play pretty much all 82 games and score as much as possible. And that is what is a given. Even on defense, that is what the Blue Jackets will pay him for, and that's what they need. If you took a deep dive into Werenski's numbers, it was 68 games played, 11 goals, 37 assists, 48 points. So he needs to be able to add more and play more games, especially with no Zeph Jones from last year. Sebastian Aho lost it. Try to find Teuvo Teravainen. He will pick it up now. He'll try to center it out in front to Aho, but that was intercepted nicely there by Columbus. Columbus trying to go left to right across your radio dial. Turns the puck over, but now they reset toward the red line and rattle this around the kick plate with a slap shot. Pesce try to get a piece of it, Brett Pesce, and this goes back in behind the cage of Freddie Anderson, trying to get centered out in front and picked up now by Gustav Nyquist. Shot gets pinballed just wide of Freddie Anderson, and Jacob Slavin will come to the rescue and get that one down across the red line, where Columbus will look to get through going in the neutral zone. Chinakhov lost the puck, tries to pick it back up, and does number 59. And this is a chance for me, in all honesty, to watch the Columbus Blue Jackets for the first time in a color cast and YouTube side of things. So I know it's the air of anticipation of Johnny Gaudreau, but still, we can see about the rest of this team that did pretty well in the goals department last year. They were 14th out of 32 teams and 28th in goals against. Where Columbus really needs to improve is that 18.6 power play and the 78.6 penalty kill. The special teams were a problem last year for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we will see if that will improve this year. Certainly with 81 points last year, you'd think with an acquisition of Gaudreau with Laine, the goal scoring will probably at least stay where it is at worst when they were 14th last year. But their defense has to get better. Maybe their defense will get better if they score more goals. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Columbus. Here's a chance now for Patrick Laine. Remember, in his first two seasons, had about 47 and 38 goals. So he wants to see if he can get back to that form. Again, he's still only like 26 years old, even though he's in like his sixth season. Brent Burns, you can tell him by the long beard, and even though I see him in different colors, you still know who Brent Burns is, as this one gets stopped by Tarasov. So he's wearing jersey number 8 here for the Carolina Hurricanes, and good to see Brent Burns getting a chance. Again, long-time tenured San Jose Shark. 19 seasons for the bearded one. 1,251 games, 227 goals, 550 assists, and 777 points. He's rolling nothing but sevens. And he has a legitimate chance to win the Stanley Cup when you're on a team just like Carolina. So 14:57 left to go in the first. Carolina leads on the shot board 3-2. This is an offensive zone draw won by the Carolina Hurricanes, but they cannot hold that blue line. Nice move. This is a chance off of a slap shot for Boquist, and that one goes just wide. Dumped in by Carolina, and this goes to the giant goal stick of Freddie Anderson, where Carolina and Slavin can reset. Paul Stastny now, a 1-year deal for the Carolina Hurricanes. So between Stastny, Brett Burns, and then you have Andre Kasha, some of the new additions in comparison to the departures of Nito Niederreiter and Vincent Trocheck. Stastny has it now as the pass is picked off, and Marty Necas will dump this one down deep for Carolina as they're trying to get something going. John out here with you from PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. Gustav Nyquist off the backhand, centered out front, big save by Anderson. But the Columbus Blue Jackets still have this off the backhand now as Nyquist still keeping this puck alive. He's trying to play it from his knees, and Derek Stefan will pick this up around the cage of Freddie Anderson. Stefan with Jesper Fast got his pocket picked as Columbus has it now, but they cannot hold the blue line. And this goes back down for an icing with Gaudreau touch. So a little over 6 minutes played. I wouldn't say an auspicious start right now, as it's 3 shots apiece on both. Columbus has a hit advantage of 5-4 and a face-off advantage of 3-2, as we're really underway here. And I will keep you abreast of any scores that we see right now. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves are still in a rain delay in the top of the first. So a game that was supposed to start at about 4:45 still has not concluded in the first pitch. And it kind of makes you wonder if they'll just move the game till tomorrow. But we'll see what goes with that. Chinikov tries to get back on the puck here, but it's intercepted by Jordan Martinook. Off to the races, there was Zeph Jarvis, or he could have been, but the pass was a little too hard. Zdeno Tarasov will pick this one up here. He was an entry for the late scratch of Elvis Merzlikins. The misplay there, Freddie Anderson has to hurry up into the goal crease, and Columbus centered one out in front toward the right faceoff dot, but it was intercepted by Teuvo Teravainen. Sebastian Aho will get outshot on goal from about, let's say, 100 feet, and that one is stopped by Tarasov as Columbus has it now. And across the red line, intercepted once again by Aho, and he will dump this in deep. Tarasov will play it with the goal stick, and then we'll get set with Zach Werenski and Adam Boquist there for Larson, Coach Larson, Brad Larson, in his second season. Calvin DeHaan pinball this one ahead. Burns with a big-time shot. Natchez tried to find it. That was stopped there by Tarasov. Good forechecking there. Is going to lead to a chance, maybe, but good back check by Carolina as Columbus is still trying to find this thing near the right faceoff dot. Held near the blue line. Shot there for Erica Branson on the third line side on defense. They're coming over from the Calgary Flames. That one goes wide as Freddie Anderson watches it go by. Columbus trying to find it, but there's red jerseys everywhere as Jesperi Kotkaniemi lost the puck. And now Columbus can try to go left to right across your radio dial. PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the first game of the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. I was with you last night for the nightcap with a doubleheader where the Golden Knights defeated the Los Angeles Kings with a late goal from Mark Stone for about 30 seconds left, and ill-conceived one at that up a turnover. So we will see what happens in this game as we're almost halfway through the first period. We get a hybrid icing, so Columbus will get an offensive zone draw with 11:28 left to go in the first. We get our first media timeout, and they show Johnny Gaudreau again. Nothing. 11:28 left to go in the first. Come right back. We'll call more first period action in a moment. And this is a face-off that is dropped unfairly. A second is just drawn off the clock. They faked like they were going to go to media timeout, so they gave me a stoppage here on the recorder, and we get a chance to reset. Back under the action now, 11:20 remaining in the first period. John Under with you from PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. Carolina leads the shot board 5-4, but we're still scoreless. Columbus trying to go left to right, and the puck gets pinballed around. It's loose in the high slot. Great move. Shot on goal, stopped there by the right glove of Freddie Anderson. That was the first line. I believe that was Boone Jenner that let that shot go. Jenner trying to keep this one alive now. All through a bunch of states is Igor Chinikov. That was Jack Roslovic with the shot. Chinikov tried to keep it alive, and now we get another icing as Carolina. Back-to-back icings in the last, say, about 40 seconds of play. As Rod Brendamore is looking around, he is just shaking his head. So Rod Brendamore in his 5th season as a Hurricanes head coach is 174, 86, and 28. Highest winning percentage in franchise history. That's good for 65-3. Let's do our math, John. Come on. Sebastian Aho lost the draw. So this stays alive there for Andrew Peak. Glove save there by Freddie Anderson with the right pad. Peak tries to keep this one in, and Paul Stasny on the fourth line nowadays for Rod Brennamore's squad. Puts this one down the ice. Columbus now looking to break out, and they lost it. So this has been a good neutral zone battle for the most of this game right now. This is trying to get played across by Cole Sillinger and intercepted by Carolina. And once again, they've iced the puck 3 times with an over a minute action. So the lines cannot change. So we will see if Columbus can yet again win another offensive zone draw and maybe make something happen as we're getting very close to the halfway marker of the first period. It's the first line that's out right now. Boone Jenner, Johnny Gaudreau, and Patrick Laine. So Jenner wins the draw, but this is taken out by Carolina. This will not be iced. This is going to be toward the opposite side blue line of Columbus. Trying to dump this one in was Erica Branson on the third line defense. Boone Jenner trying to get a piece of it. He couldn't find Johnny Gaudreau, and now this is a 2-on-1 developing. Slavin with the Jesperi Kotkaniemi trying to get the pass across. But beautiful dive there by Erica Branson to break up the play, which could have been a sure 2-on-1 chance. Here comes Columbus and a shot right in the catching glove from Boone Jenner. And Freddie Anderson makes the save as it's 9:47 left to go in the first stanza. We are scoreless, and now we do get a media timeout. So when we come back, we will call the last half of the first period action. Stay tuned. Anyone that joins across the YouTube side, I thank you very much. You can leave any comments, questions, and concerns, or you can follow along if you have an iPhone. If you want higher quality audio than my YouTube mic will give you, it's Colorcast is the app, and you can download it if you have an iPhone. I'm broadcasting under John Ryan Ott. That's where you will find me, of the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. There is a lot of hockey games. We have 6 of them today, and we have some baseball and everything else to take care of. So we'll see if we have any NHL updates on scoring. So we know Alec Nava is doing this game on Colorcast. It's Boston with a 1-0 lead over Washington. We will see who the goal scorer is. We're still scoreless with our game, and we're scoreless with Toronto and Montreal. That's just underway. Right now, the Boston goal scorer is Patrice Bergeron on the power play from David Pastrnak and David Krejci. So if you were wondering if David Krejci, since being overseas last year with the advanced age, would have any issues, well, you're on the power play with Patrice Bergeron, Pastrnak, and Krejci, you're going to do pretty good. So that was first blood in that contest.
Got kids back in class and didn't raise taxes. Yes, it's been tough.
So rejoice, everybody, if you're trying to follow along on the Major League Baseball side. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves are finally underway in the top of the first. The game was supposed to start about 4:45 Eastern. So that game will still be going on when the first pitch is scheduled for 8:37 Eastern on FS1 between the San Diego Padres and the LA Dodgers. Dodgers trying to win the first 2 games and take a 2-0 lead in a best of 5. Back into the official action of the first period of a scoreless contest so far. Columbus Blue Jackets have a 7-5 shot board advantage. The debut of Johnny Gaudreau in Columbus, Ohio. Patrick Laine has also re-upped with a long extension. So you have Gaudreau, you have Laine, and you have your first line pretty much set. And that's what they know right now in Columbus. They want some star power and probably have the same amount of star power they've had since they had Rick Nash that long ago. Put down by Carolina, and this is picked up now by Zach Werenski and Adam Boquist as the first line is out right now. Sean Corrali, fourth line, is out there for the offense for Columbus as this gets intercepted. Flip down all the way, glove down with the hand, and Andrew Peak will find this now as Columbus tries to break out. Here's a chance for Columbus as this is rattled around the kick play, try to get picked back up around the right side. Face-off dot for Carolina. Big-time reverse hit as Teuvo Teravainen got knocked down on his wallet. Gustav Nyquist also trying to join in there with Jacob Slavin. It got loose out in the middle of the slot and picked up by Sebastian Aho, and he will bank this one off the kick play to Zach Werenski. Will play this one. Columbus, now in a host of humanity near the red line. This gets dumped down the ice, and Andrew Peak will pick it up now as they're showing Cole Solinger on the bench. He was the one that delivered that reverse hit on the Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Peak will play this in behind the goal cage, but the pass gets intercepted, and Carolina will rattle this down the kick plate as Columbus will pick it back up around Daniel Tarasov, their goaltender that's playing now. Marty Natchez with a saucer couldn't get corralled. The Jesperi Kotkaniemi is still out there. He's waiting near the left faceoff dot and trying to get this puck loose. He does momentarily as this goes back to Boone Jenner. The first line's out there now with Jenner, Gaudreau, and Patrick Laine for Columbus. Marty Natchez, excellent work in his own defensive end. He beat two different defenders, and that was Johnny Gaudreau as he just picked the pocket. Here's a pass across Jacob Slavin, and now Andrei Svechnikov will shoot this into the catching glove and on a play for Tarasov, and we will do this again. 7:25 left to go in the first. We are scoreless. Columbus 7 shots on goal, Carolina 5, and we get yet another commercial break. Come right back. We got more.
I've been meaning to ask you, Carl, does your firm offer personalized index investing? So I can remove a stock that doesn't align with my goals.
I'm a broker, not a barista.
What about managing gains and losses to be more tax efficient?
Not a widget either.
Looks like Schwab personalized indexing can. Learn more about personalized indexing at Schwab today.
The last few years have been tough, but we didn't stop. We made childcare more affordable, invested in education, got kids back in class.
So I haven't seen too much of Jakub Voracek on the ice for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but he was the leader in assists. He had about 57, I believe it was, last season. So less than 10 goals, but 57 assists there for Voracek. The interesting part, and which hurt a little bit, I think I do have this in my notes as we are in a commercial break right now. So Oliver Bjorkstrand was a cap casualty here for the Columbus Blue Jackets as he was going to the Seattle Kraken. He was the leader for goals last year for 28 for the Blue Jackets. And again, Patrick Laine had 26, so he was second, but no Oliver Bjorkstrand, I think, is going to hurt the depth a little bit for Columbus. But again, that's where they hope Johnny Gaudreau will make that up. They're showing Matthew Olivier the last 3 seasons with the Nashville Predators. So right now on the Valley Sports Ohio side, we're looking at some of the fights in practice and doing a little scrap and just some technique there. As Olivier is trying to show the toughness. And I think that's what he's going to bring on the 4th line for Coach Brad Larson in his 2nd season for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that's just what they're showing on the Valley Sports Ohio side. Back in the official action as Sebastian Aho loses the draw. And this goes down the red line, intercepted now by Carolina, and they will flutter this down the kick plate and make some defensive line changes, but they got to be quick about it. Brent Burns able to dislodge the puck. Here's a chance for Andrei Svechnikov, as that one got blocked before it ever hit Daniel Tarasov. 7 minutes left to go in the first. We are scoreless. I wouldn't say this has been an auspicious start. I would say that this has been pretty good, but Carolina, you're noticing the defensive buckles that they're putting through. Seth Jarvis threw a couple of pinballs there off the skates. And this goes back down the ice. Brent Burns will touch, and this will be a hybrid icing, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Carolina, and Columbus cannot change. So the line will still be out there with Sean Corrali on that side. Erica Branson, you're getting a look at him on the 3rd line defense coming over from the Calgary Flames. Pretty interesting. Maybe not, maybe or maybe not. Brad Treliving couldn't afford Erica Branson. When you're thinking about you lost, I should say, Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, and you gained Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwinn, a 1st round, and Nazem Kadri. That is the craziest turnaround in franchise history, I think, in a single season for the Calgary Flames. Brady Shea lets it go through the screen, and it bounces right back to him near the left faceoff dot. He plays this across Sperry caught me in with the shot. Shea still with it. Another shot by Slavin, and that gets pinballed wide as it's trying to get picked up by Jordan Stahl. Shea still trying to do some yeoman's work off the forecheck, and now this goes back to Jordan Stahl. Keeps it alive. Jordan Stahl can pick this back up now as it's rattled around the kick plate. Brady Shea tried to center one out in front, and Carolina doing some good work, but Columbus also doing some good work in front of Tarasov to clear that one out. But here we come again for the Carolina Hurricanes as Shea will send this one in deep. Nice drop pass goes back to Calvin DeHaan, and his wrist shot gets blocked. It's a 2-on-2. The other way for Columbus. Here's Sean Corrali. Flutters a backhand out in front that stick to side by Freddie Anderson. Again, just good to see him back on the ice. Antti Ranta had to have been tired during the Stanley Cup playoffs last season, as he pretty much had to play every game. Only when he got spelled, they didn't pull him with Peter Kochetkov. So Freddie Anderson's just got to stay healthy here. In Carolina, even with the departures of Nito Niederreiter and Vincent Trocheck, can still be that Stanley Cup dependent team with the heavy odds that most Vegas odds makers are taking, as it gets iced again by Columbus this time. 5:22 left to go in the scoreless first. So I hope you're enjoying this game. John, I'm here with you flying solo tonight. PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. This is the Carolina Hurricanes at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets with the debut of Columbus, Ohio, and Johnny Gaudreau. He has spent his first 9 seasons with the Calgary Flames. So we'll see how that works, as Johnny Gaudreau will have a next chapter here in Columbus. He said this is where he wanted to be, and hopefully he can jumpstart Patrick Laine. That's what they're looking forward in Columbus. Picked up now by Jacob Slavin as he plays this across to the forward. So it's Slavin and Pesce out there right now for Rod Brendamore's squad. About 5 minutes left to go in this first period of action. Here's a chance now. Jordan Martinook, he lost it. He said, my bad, as he kind of double tapped the stick down there. And this goes to Columbus, centered out in front, blocked away by Carolina, but it's not out. It's in the midst of sticks and skates. Columbus can settle this down, looking for a pass out in front for Corrali, and this gets picked up there by Adam Boqvist. It's Borquist and Werenski out there with the rest of the first line, Boudreaux, Gaudreau, and Patrick Laine, as this is touched up by Daniel Tarasov, and now Columbus can take their chances in behind the cage, and Columbus can get their first line changed out. Here's a race for the puck. Danforth centers it on front. Big save there by Anderson, but no Blue Jacket could get the rebound, as Paul Stastny will send this in deep. This goes back between Jake Bean and the third line defense. Somebody's lost a stick near the players' bench, and the play is blown dead, so we should get a neutral zone draw with 3:59 left to go in the first. But before that, we'll get a commercial break. Still scoreless. Let's call the rest of the first period action in a moment.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence. I would watch the flight attendants. They're not nervous, but I'm not nervous. Financially, I'm the flight attendant in that situation. The relief that comes over people once they know they've got a guide to help them through. I definitely feel privileged to be in that position.
Oh, Cinnamon, where he gonna run to? Cinnamon, where he gonna run to?
So we've officially got out of the first inning between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. We're scoreless in that one. Again, it's just going to be about an hour's time. We'll get first pitch of the San Diego Padres and the LA Dodgers. Should be a primetime pitching matchup on Fox Sports 1 between Yu Darvish and Clayton Kershaw. Loro Antonio is going to have the call for you on Colorcast side if you want to tune in. If you have an iPhone, you can tune into that. He's going to have it. He's been covering the Dodgers all season, so I'm sure he'll be glued to that pitching matchup. Some NHL scores. It's now 2-0 at the end of one. Boston Bruins got the lead over the Washington Capitals. I think many are predicting in the Eastern Conference wildcard spots, one of these teams make it, one of these teams don't. Boston's got the early 2-0 lead. We get a commercial. We'll let you know what those goals are going to be and what they're from. Back into the official action now. 3:59 left to go in the first period. Big time slap shot and held by Daniel Tarasov. And they will do this again. That was Jalen Chatfield with the bomb. And if you're looking from far away, luckily I'm close with my 4 eyes to the TV as far as that. Jalen Chatfield kind of looks like Brent Burns. He's got the long flowing hair and the long beard. As you're getting a chance to look at Coach Larson again in his second season of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And just like that, maybe on Friday night when the Red Wings open their season against the Montreal Canadiens, and you have Derek Lalonde, you got a lot of other pieces out in front as well. So as happy as Brad Larson can be with Johnny Gaudreau, I think Derek Lalonde will be happy with some of the added firepower that Steve Eisman brought into his 4th season. Maybe we will do that game on Friday. Who knows? So this gets picked up now by Calvin DeHaan, and this gets off the kick plate there and try to get picked up by Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Jordan Martinook trying to chase in there for Carolina, and this goes toward Columbus. Sean Corrali lost it. Now this is in across the red line. Now Carolina's stick checking, just like a lot of the times when I cover this team, is just absolutely terrific. Brady Shea, long wrist shot, gets bounced around. Picked back up by Pesce, lets the shot go. A big save by Tarasov, and he turns it aside with the right pad. Picked up now, Pesce, all the way back off the backhand. Will dump this one in deep. And Jesper Fast. Adam Boquist will intercept. Boquist out there with Zach Werenski. Zach Werenski now trying to lead the rush, chase it in and around behind the cage. Werenski still with it. And this one deflects right back to Adam Boquist. Werenski in on his horse, trying to help out Boquist if need to be, but this goes back to Boone Jenner and Roslovic. As this is spun around, Carolina will intercept as Columbus wasn't sure what they were doing. Brent Burns with the long shot blocked out in front. Carolina trying to find a good active sticks there by Columbus. Will flutter this one down across the red line. It's 9-7 on the shot board in favor of the Blue Jackets, but we are still scoreless with 2:10 left to go in the first. Carolina trying to attack right to left across your radio dial. Sebastian Aho, touch up. Teuvo Teravainen centered this one to an open right wing. Long slap shot goes up and out of place. It'll be a neutral zone draw with just over 2 minutes left to go in the scoreless first period. John out here with you. I am watching on the Valley Sports Ohio side, courtesy of ESPN Plus. This is game number 1 for the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. We have our original assignment of the day. I thought about doing maybe the Braves and Phillies game, but it was such a long delay that we went back to our original assignment. As much as I love the NHL, trust me, I'm not hurting here. I'm enjoying this game. Andrew Peak picks this up, and now this goes across the red line. Carolina will intercept with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, but he lost it, and Columbus will flutter this down in deep behind the cage of Freddie Anderson, and they will try to jumpstart and get some things going. Both teams looking to jumpstart because their defense looks pretty spectacular, but the offense, because the defense has been so good, is at a tough time getting going. Jacob Slavin lost it. This is a 2-on-2. Now a 3-on-2 joining in is Boone Jenner, and the shot goes off of his skate blade, and now down the ice, Carolina can send this one. Zach Werenski will pick this up, and again, he's probably going to get the last close to the minute 20 of the first period as it's Jenner, Laine, and Johnny Gaudreau out there right now on the first line. Jacob Slavin will pick this up with Brent Burns, his new defensive partner there. It was Tony DeAngelo last season, but he went to the Philadelphia Flyers on his show-me deal. So picked up now, Boquist, nice turn. Now that is Gustav Nyquist with the puck. Nyquist will play this one ahead to Eric Branson. Branson lost it, intercepted. Jesper Fast overskated it. And now this gives a chance for Chinikov to pick this one up here for Carolina. He's going to take his change, and he's going to reset there with Zach Werenski. Long bomb pass. Gets turned over there by Jordan Stahl, but he sidesteps a hit with 30 seconds left to go in the first period. Behind the cage there of Tarasov, Branson trying to find it there with Sean Corrali, but this gets intercepted. Pinballed off the stick of Tarasov. Still live. Long slap shot goes just wide as we get the overhead cam on the Valley Sports Ohio side. It gets dumped down the ice. Will this be an icing? Yes, it will be. Hybrid icing call. Jalen Chatfield touches up. So the line of Sean Corrali Eric Robinson and Matthew Olivier cannot change. So Daniel Tarasov, despite not knowing he would get that start because Elvis Merzlikins was scratched with a late illness, he's been good in this game. He stopped all 9 attempts, and Freddie Anderson stopped all 8 attempts on the other side against Carolina Hurricanes. So pretty good on both sides for defense, and this is a pretty good first period. Sebastian Aho trying to make something happen. It's the first line against the fourth line right now. You would think that'd be an advantage if Aho wins the draw. He does. This goes back to Brent Burns. Let's go with the wrist shot. And this is put down the ice. Brent Burns got to be got on his horse. Freddie Anderson brush this one aside. Carolina will dump this one down across the red line. That's going to end the first period. We're scoreless between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. When we come back, we'll call the second period action. Stay tuned.
Much anticipated here for Johnny Gaudreau and company to come in and tear things up offensively, but there's a focus by the other team to shut them down. There's a matchup game going on, and then they're pressing a little bit of field. So if they'll calm down as this works through this game and things open up. But right now, I think for coaches, trainers, players, everyone alike, iron out the kinks. The first is done. No damage, nothing against.
We head back to the studio. Rockies and Slav. Jean-Luc Grandpierre standing by. We'll rejoin you here.
All right, so everything should be good. I'm just going to make a couple of notes, and then we'll keep you up to date as far as some goal scoring situations and maybe some baseball scores as they go across the wire here.
I would watch the flight attendants. They're not nervous, and I'm not going to be nervous. Financially, I'm the flight attendant in that situation. The relief that comes over people once they know they've got God to help them through, I definitely feel privileged to be in that position.
My name's Amy, and I bought and financed my car through Carvana. Everything was all good, but then things hit a slight snag. Okay, so they were trying to verify my employment status while I was at work in a giant hole in a mine. But then something amazing happened. So Carvana worked with my shift manager and got everything sorted out, so I didn't miss out on the car. Super helpful. I was over the moon, even though I was underground.
You'll drive me happy. At Carvana.
Love this thing. It's really attracts the rest of your family and lets you know when it's best to look. So you can go and see more of all the worlds. The old, the physically challenged, the last to be chosen. Shelter dogs with special needs face a far longer road to adoption. But Subaru knows even the toughest roads can lead to the most amazing places. That's why Subaru and our retailers created National Underdogs Day to help all underdogs find homes. Subaru, more than a car company.
You know what you used to be? Not the way it used to be. Nice. But no, you know what you are? Not nice.
From writer-director Martin McDonough.
You can't just all of a sudden stop being friends with a fella.
Why can't
Because it isn't nice.
Comes a diabolical tale of the friendship sound. The Banshees of Inisherin.
Why aren't you talking?
the only way to sing it now would be
No, that's something nice here, isn't it? Rated R.
It's big, it's back, and it's still $6. Get the big box y'all love today.
We've taken up running. Apple Watch has taken up a few new things as well. First, it tracks your distance. Now, it tracks your stride length. It knows a breaststroke from a backstroke and checks for temperature changes to estimate when you've ovulated. When you're dreaming, it's measuring your REM sleep down to the minute. And it can detect a serious car crash and call for help. So, yeah, even a new thing.
For last season first, the Jackets would like to scratch off the list tonight. The first goal of the season will have to wait and come down first tonight.
It was the Canes. You can see the back inside of Home Sports Ohio Studio. Brian Giesenslaw jumping right there. Welcome to our first intermission. Outside of a few things here and there for both teams, to me, it looked like the first period of the first game of the season.
Yeah, absolutely did. It was it looked almost unorganized, and there's a big difference between training camp and regular season. You can see like Gaudreau, there's not as much room out there as there is during training camp. So still working on that chemistry, try to force things up a little bit more, like Jody said. But obviously, as they get more confident, as this game progress, and you realize that the time and space has been taken away from you, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, there is one constant. Seemingly always one constant. It's Justin Danforth. So he kicks things off with Mets to recap the first in a row.
Well, Justin, first period of the year, what are your impressions?
Yeah, I think we came up pretty strong here on the road against good teams. So we got to continue that kind of simple play. I think, we'll keep getting chances.
So much emphasis in the preseason on being defensively sound as well as attacking.
So let's give you some.
Assess that first period.
Let's do this first just to make sure. So bottom of the second now, still scoreless between the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. We will move over here to NHL scores. Really the only other things going on tonight. It was 2-0 after one for Boston over the Washington Capitals. Goal scorers, Patrice Bergeron at the 7:58 mark on the power play from David Pastrnak and David Krejci. And then the 15:03 mark, it was Pasta from Krejci and Connor Clifton. So David Krejci feels pretty good to be back in Boston, I would say, since from playing overseas. He's already got 2 assists, and Pasternak's got a goal and assist as well, as they've got the lead over the Caps.
But for him, another guy that kind of switched the cards and forced the decision. You had him slate maybe as a fourth liner, somebody that.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are on the power play. Michael Bunting, remember he was in the rookie designation. Mitch Marner and TJ Brody at the 11:41 mark of the first period. Jake Allen has made 6 out of 7 saves for the Montreal Canadiens. He's going to probably get the long stem in goal here, I would imagine, for Montreal's Carey Price. Probably isn't going to play this year, and Matt Murray has made his first 7 saves. So it's going to be Matt Murray tonight and Ilya Samsonov tomorrow for the Toronto goaltending tandem. Probably won't have to worry too much against the Montreal Canadiens tonight, but I think that will definitely be a storyline going forward.
Yeah, Raj, it's the little things that drive you happy. They'll drive you happy.
Let's see if we can flip toward that game on the ESPN Plus side while we're waiting just for a couple of minutes.
Let's go somewhere. We've never taken a real road trip together.
I would be miserable the entire time.
I will teach you to drive.
Did you close your eyes? Always keep your eyes open.
When we have the surgery. I want you for my whole life.
You have a fire inside your wallet. Trust yourself.
It is the start of another season. Opening night, the Jays. Jitters with an excitement to kill. Forever rivals, Leafs and Canadians on opening night. A ticket slate on a fresh seat of ice. What can be better?
So I'll take this here for a couple minutes, and then we'll go back to our game, which is Columbus and Carolina. So 4 straight opening losses, season opening losses here for the Canadiens against the Toronto Maple Leafs. This could have been another game for me to do. Looking at the Sportsnet feed here. So let's just talk about this here very shortly, if anyone's still on the YouTube side of things. When you think about the Toronto Maple Leafs, as we're in the middle of an action of a break in our game, Montreal shot gets sent wide on by Nick Suzuki. Toronto needs to be able to win a playoff series. They haven't done so since 2004. We got about 3:30 left to go in the first period. So first period could probably end, and then we can go back into our game. That'll put us right back into that spot. Nobody really cares what the Maple Leafs do during the regular season. It's kind of a formality that they're going to be able to get in, but what will they do with the goaltending tandem of Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov. That is the biggest question throughout the year. Again, that will not really be answered tonight because I don't think the Montreal Canadiens will be able to put much of a stiff test against Toronto. But still, that is going to be something that people will be talking about all season long. And I can't imagine, but that is why you play hockey in Canada. You want to deal with that pressure and all that, but I can't imagine how much of a weight is put under Kyle Dubas, Brendan Shane, everybody else in the Toronto organization, but that goes with the territory. Bottom line is, when you have Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, you have your core together, they can get the job done. They've got the depth. They've got to be able to just figure out a way, because if they can just get in, if they can win a playoff series, maybe then it unleashes the shackles, and Toronto can finally get that Stanley Cup that's eluded them for so long. Because I really think, in all honesty, I'm not even joking. I know this team can do it, but they've just got to get through that stigma. So William Nylander lost it. Kirby Doc, nice move, and that one goes back on the left side red line. Picked up now by John Tavares off the backhand as Austin Matthews will dump this one in deep. We are getting a live look in here of the Sportsnet feed of Toronto and Montreal as Jake Allen will glove this and hold. Our game between Columbus and Carolina is in the first intermission, so we're just looking at a live look in here really quick. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and we will be right back.
You know, he's just looking for some help, looking for some opportunity, and looking for a good start here to begin this season. Kerfoot and Evans off the drop. Montreal prevails. Now it's in Rice. Over the line with Evans. Red Kicklick on the other wing. Giordano sent it around. He gets tied up along the boards. Leaves able to roll it down and will be enough for racing. Herbert Jackguy, the Hamilton native. What a story. Before he's played his first game, he's already public enemy number one in Ottawa. Here's Evans sliding it through. Playing by Giordano. Jackguy, physical reverse in the preseason rookie tournament. It seemed like he was involved with Ottawa every shift. Well, he's endeared himself to the fans here in Montreal, too. He just such a fantastic story. Perseverance, dedication, forget about being undrafted. Let's continue to work, and this is the payoff here. Game number one for him. He's looked good. Now Anderson here in the final minute or so. Suzuki knocked off the puck. Wasn't playing it again. Punted away by Kemp. David Savard off the boards. Obey Kubel gets a return feed. Fired down, but blocked by Savard. Loose. Feed by Suzuki. Caulfield unable to catch. Caulfield makes it between the ears. Save it. Showing to get the shot through. Broken stick. And Montreal with great chances to comes to a close. Caulfield looking skyward there.
So at the end of the first period, I just walked back into the room here. Looks like Cole Caulfield might have just missed the net. So it's still 1-0 after 1 in favor of the Maple Leafs. I'm going to flip back over to our game and see where we are. We are scoreless between the Blue Jackets and the Hurricanes.
Finest Detroit style pizza on the planet. Back at Raleigh. Stay kind of back and forth. Not much to show for it after 20 minutes. We brought up Justin Danforth earlier. John Lee, this is the way he plays. First game, game 80, game 75, straight ahead.
Yes, he's got one onto the puck, and in here, he just desperate fast. Excuse me, Swedish, or it's like silent J. But yes, for Danforth, we talk about creating opportunities. That's exactly what he does. He goes so hard when he gives you a chance. So, yeah, good example for us.
So 10 shots per on both sides. That's what they show. I want to see on the ESPN side if that is different. So it is. Let me update that. So 10 shots on goal aside for both. 13-9 are the hits in favor of Columbus. So it was 11-8 initially. Now it's 10-10. So don't know if that is a home team guy or sometimes some of these teams on the NHL can give you some different totals. There's always known to be those kind of situations. So 10-10 shots on goal, 13-9 hit advantage for CBJ as well. And Carolina 10-7 face off.
We'll be back with the second intermission in just a bit, but right now, the boys in Carolina on deck for PNC Arena Jackets and Canes.
So tomorrow, as far as my schedule and what is going to be covered, may or may not be an off day, or I may or may not ride solo. I was trying to get in coordination with Cooper Hopkins. He is the Calgary Flames resident expert, and he is usually my co-host during the Stanley Cup playoffs and things like that. But he is the Calgary Flames resident expert. Anytime we cover a Flames game, he is always the head play-by-play man because that is his team. So tomorrow is a big contest because it'll be game number one of the Calgary Flames and the Colorado Avalanche. I believe that's one's going to be on altitude at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get in coordination with him so we can do that game together. But that game might be big to the point where if he can't do it, I might be doing that on myself tomorrow, and then Friday will be an off day. Because I'm going to try to get him either tomorrow with that game with me or by myself for Calgary and Colorado, and then Saturday, if he can do the game between Calgary and Edmonton, we'll be doing that one together. So there will be a Flames game this week. It's just whether or not I do the one Thursday on my own or take an off day Friday or whatever else, but we'll see how that goes. Because right now it's been Friday through today's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 6 straight days. So it's been good to get all that coverage in there. But I don't know if I really want to cover Red Wings Canadians, even though it is my team, Friday with the Red Wings, just because I don't know if there's going to be a lot of intrigue to that one. I think next Monday, this coming Monday, will be the time I do the Red Wings game. Because it'll be Red Wings Kings. I think there'll be a little more intrigue there. I put the cough drop in right now, so hopefully that'll kind of cut down on some of that. We're going to get ready for second period puck drop here in a moment. Thank anyone who is following around on YouTube. You can also follow me on the Colorcast side if you have an iPhone. Broadcasting John Reinhardt. I'm talking to John out right now. I'm doing the play-by-play commentary. If you want higher quality audio, you can stick on that side because sometimes my camera can be a little finicky. But thank anybody that's been sticking around. I humbly appreciate it. I know I can't show the game on YouTube, but I can give you the play-by-play commentary and some of the thoughts that we're seeing. It was a defensive first period. I know people were saying it was the first period of the first game and it was a little sloppy. I didn't think so. I didn't kind of find it that way. I think the Carolina Hurricanes defense is kind of up to task like it always is. There's not going to be that same type of room on the ice, even when you have Boone Jenner, Johnny Gaudreau, and Patrick Laine. We'll see if that continues here for Brad Larson's squad and for Rod Brandemore's squad as we were scoreless after one. See some of the ladies in Raleigh, North Carolina with those truly hard seltzers there. Those are popular nowadays. I don't think I need one of those myself right now. This game has kept me pretty entertained as far as everything else is going. Got some smelling salts and some Gatorade for some of these players there as they're getting pumped for the second period of action. So let's start the second period, shall we? It's left to right across your radio dial as the Carolina is rocking the full red. It This is turned over. And a shot and score! Right off the first play of the game. It was dumped down by Columbus, trying to get picked up by Carolina. Careless turnover in front. We didn't get a goal all first period, but Columbus, off the first shot in the second period, it was just a turnover there. Jacob Slavin tried to rattle it around the boards. It could not be held cleanly, and the shot just beat Freddie Anderson glove side, and we'll see who that was going to be for. I know it was the line. It should be Patrick Laine's goal. So Patrick Laine gives the Columbus Blue Jackets the first goal of the game. So that was just one of those situations where, again, Slavin, it looked like an innocent dump around the boards, and it turned out to not be picked up clean. And Patrick Laine, with a quick wrister, puts the Blue Jackets on the board. They lead Carolina 1-0. So we will get the secondary assist in a moment when that pops up. Brent Burns now in behind the net of Daniel Tarasov, and this gets picked up by Columbus. So right at the beginning of the second period, that's when they score, and the red light will not stop here. I think they finally got the red goal light to stop here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So red light, but for the opposing team. Patrick Laine makes it 1-0 Columbus. They're on the road in Raleigh, North Carolina. Anytime you can get a win or a point against Carolina, you're doing something. You're doing something right. And because when you think about it, again, Carolina wasn't hurting to score goals last year. They were 14th out of 32 teams, but they had 81 points in the standings, 37, 38, and 7. They want to be able to improve on that. I think Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Laine are going to be able to do that. I think that's probably accurate. So now this is a chance for Andrei Svechnikov, centered it out in front for Timo Teravainen, and he fanned on it. So now this is Solinger as he dumps this one in deep. It's the third line out there. Solinger, Nyquist, and Justin Danforth for Brad Larson's squad. Danforth trying to play this one out, backhanded aside. The staff of the shift has broken. Let me speak correctly. The shaft of the stick has broken here for Columbus. Jake Bean is able to keep this one in the offensive zone. Excuse me, getting tongue-tied there. Jake Bean lets it go. High wrist shot. And through the screen, somehow Freddie Anderson found that one as Jake Bean was buzzing to get a bit of a second goal here for Columbus. So all of a sudden, the water faucet has been turned on, as my partner would like to say, Cooper Hopkins. It was a good wrist shot right out in front for the Carolina forwards, and then Jake Bean, after Nyquist got another backhand on, Jake Bean with a shot that was able to be held by Freddie Anderson. So defensive zone draw win by Sebastian Aho, and Brent Burns will get this one down the ice. It's now 3-0 Boston over the Washington Capitals. 13:31 left to go in the second stanza. Daniel Tarasov lost it. He almost lost his goal stick. Shot from the blue line by Burns. Pinballed out in front. Still picked up by Sebastian Aho. Tried to center it out in front. Falls to Slavin. And Svechnikov's stick breaks in half. Lumbers and twigs everywhere right now in the second period. And also we have our first goal of the game, courtesy of Patrick Laine. The young rookie, Zeth Jarvis, no longer a rookie now. In his second year, he was excellent for Carolina. One of the top point getters. But you also think about losing Vinny Trocheck and Nito Niederreiter. That's points that got to be replaced. Centered out in front, and Aho's shot gets blocked out in front there by the Columbus defense, and Tarasov. Aho lost it. Now Columbus will pick it up with Andrew Peeke as he got sandwiched hard toward the right side boards. Jalen Chatfield now trying to find it. He does corral it loose to Chinikov, and now this goes back to Columbus. They're going to go ahead and take their changes. They're already near the bench. So Carolina now down a goal with 17:20 left to go in the second stanza. John Iherlikia from the Columbus Valley Sports Columbus feed from Ohio. It's 1-0 Blue Jackets over the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are going to be attacking left to right across your radio dial. Blue Jackets right to left. Blue Jackets in the white and blue pants. Carolina in all red. Carolina's got it now. It's a 2-on-2 big time wrist shot there by Jordan Stahl, and that was held by Daniel Tarasov. So that was a nice looking shot, but Tarasov with the flashy glove save, he saw it on the way and held. So I appreciate anyone that's joined me on the YouTube side and the Colorcast side. This has been a good contest so far as Columbus has drawn first blood courtesy of Patrick Laine. 17 minutes left to go officially in the second period. It's going to be an offensive zone draw here for Carolina. Derek Stefan lost it. Jordan Martinook trying to find it. Sean Corrali will join in. Erica Branson also pinching in there for Jordan Martinook, trying to cut him off. And behind the left side of the post of Daniel Tarasov. It's loose out in front, picked up by Jordan Martinook again. He rattles this around the kick plate. Stefan trying to join in there. Jesper Fost as well. Derek Stefan being worked over there by a host of Blue Jackets. Somehow stayed alive across the blue line. Now Columbus 2-on-2 the other way down an open left wing. Stopped there by Freddie Anderson weakly off the backhand. But there really wasn't anything that Matthew Olivier could do. He couldn't get any power on the shot, but it was held by Freddie Anderson. So now on the shot board, we do have a goal, but it's 15-12 in favor of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and more importantly, in favor of the Columbus Blue Jackets in goals. It's now 1-0. They scored off the first shift in the second period. There were no goals in the first. So 16:25 left to go in the second stanza. It's been a good contest so far. I know there are a lot of Columbus Blue Jackets fans, and I couldn't believe it in the opening when I heard of their 22nd season in the NHL. I really do like their jerseys, and even though it's a bitter rivalry, for me, you're listening to a man from Detroit, Michigan, commentate on a Columbus, Ohio hockey game. But again, I'm the fan of the NHL, and I want to see how Johnny Gaudreau looks tonight. So Marty Natchez, nice pass across. Stahl lets it go, and it's blocked by a host of Columbus defenders. It's a 3-on-2. Columbus has the defensive advantage, and they do win this puck as this goes to Brady Shea. Shea will still hold. He's going to play this one to Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi dumps this down the ice. And are we going to get a neutral zone draw? I don't believe there has even been a penalty in this contest, so it's been pretty fast moving on both sides. I will pull up the ESPN box score to give you the secondary assist, but there isn't any. It's Patrick Laine, 11 seconds in the second period. And there has not been a penalty in this contest just yet, so it's been free-flowing, moving pretty well. Brad Larson looking over some of these signals as we get a neutral zone puck drop. It's won by Carolina and picked up by Zach Werenski. So it's Zach Werenski and Adam Boquist out there for Brad Larson's squad here for Columbus. They're enjoying the 1-0 lead with 15:40 left to go in the second period. Stahl spins it around the kick plate. Boquist just watched it go by, and this is picked up by Zach Werenski. Almost had his pass turned over. Now somehow this goes near the Carolina blue line side. There was a pass through traffic. 3-on-2 the other way for Columbus. And a shot by Patrick Laine looking for a second, but it's still behind the office there. Freddie Anderson holding on that left post. Can Columbus get to this first? Laine will play this one around the kick plate. He gets it now. Crisscrossing here with Johnny Gaudreau. Laine in the high slot looking for Gaudreau. Off a reflection. Gaudreau trying to wrap it around, but he missed. Boone Jenner is also on the doorstep. Laine into the screen. It's loose. Freddie Anderson down. And he's able to cover and hold as Patrick Laine has been buzzing, and now Brent Burns is on top of one of the unlucky Columbus Blue Jackets there. We'll see if we can get a number and jersey there, as that was Boone Jenner and Brent Burns that they met as they collided down, as Jenner was trying to tap home the rebound, and Brent Burns said, I might be on a new team, but you're still not going to mess with my goalie. And they had some punches and some words exchanged. So Patrick Laine all of a sudden has been buzzing in the second period. He was looking for a couple of shots, a tip there from Johnny Gaudreau, and it's still 1-0, courtesy of unassisted Patrick Laine goal in the second period, just 11 seconds in. So 17 shots now for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 12 for the Carolina Hurricanes. And when we get another stoppage, I'll get into some of my Hurricane stats that we have not hit just yet. Brady Shea and Brett Pesce are out there on the defensive side as the faceoff is 1-2 Shea. This is plated ahead to Teuvo Teravainen, Seth Jarvis now with Sebastian Aho. Aho trying to join in there with Jarvis. He does pry the puck loose, but he lost it. Jarvis out in front! Scores off the backhand! So Aho and Jarvis team out there beautifully, and that was a great play. Seth Jarvis put his nose down, his head down, drove the net, scored off the backhand, and Carolina ties this up. It might have been poor Jack Roslovic that got his pocket picked. We'll take another look at that. Roslovic in behind the cage. There was a back pass that went to the other team. That was Zeph Jarvis. He threw it to a jersey in red. Jarvis put his head down, drove the net like he was going to pass. It was a no-look backhand, and that was pretty good there by Jarvis. And you wonder why he scored all those goals last season as a rookie. He's got his first here for Carolina as we're back knotted at 1. 14:48 left to go in the second period. That was an excellent goal there by Carolina and Seth Jarvis to get this one tied. So the towels and flags are waving here as Seth Jarvis gets the goal, tied this game up at 1. 14:30 left to go in the second period. Centered out in front of the high slot. Another shot goes wide of Tarasov. And now picked up by Derek Stepan, the fourth line here for Carolina. Columbus will get this now, but they can't get it out of the zone. Now this goes across the red line. Racing down is Denis Chinikov. He needs some help, and Chinikov lost it. And this goes back to the Columbus end with Boquist and Rowinski out there right now. Boquist will play a pass, and this bounces off. Gustav Nyquist will rattle this around the kick plate. Still 1-0 for Toronto at the end of the first. In that game, as I saw that go by, but it's 1-1 in our contest as an icing is called. So it is Patrick Laine and Seth Jarvis with the goals here in the second period to make it 1-1. It was a scoreless first. It was a little bit of an auspicious start, maybe. I would say that. You want to see how Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau would look. You see what's going to end up happening in that game. And now in the second period, it looks like, okay, these guys have gotten their feet wet a little bit. And now let's get the offensive game going a little bit. That's what we've seen. So the first line is out right now for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Boone Jenner couldn't win the draw. But this is with Columbus and Johnny Gaudreau. He plays crisscross with Zach Werenski. He was looking for Johnny Gaudreau in the slot. And this goes back to Adam Boquist. Boquist now plays this to Laine. Sweet move as he's trying to create some space into the neutral zone with a couple of toe drags. Trying to spin around Brett Pesce to get him to turn around and lose the puck. Columbus keeps this from going across the blue line. They crisscross with Boquist. Boquist has it now off the backhand. Now it's Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau keeping it alive off the backhand near the right dot. Laine looks like he's banged up going into the bench. We'll get a chance to look at that when they show the camera pan. Picked up now, Boone Jenner, the captain. Lays it off Zach Werenski in the high slot. Now toward the right dot, gets a backhand shot off. Another shot. This one gets stopped by Freddie Anderson and held. As you got Danforth and Pesce throwing punches on the other side. Boone Jenner throwing punches here with Chatfield. Now all of a sudden the temperature in the kitchen's turned up a little bit. And we'll see if anything's going to come from this. Patrick Laine looks to be holding one of his hands. Hopefully it's just something more than that. He got slashed and turned around. Did he get his arm jammed into the boards is the question. When we come back, let's see if we can get some more clarification. 1-1's your score in the middle of the second period action.
Overnight, users tripled, which meant hiring 20 new employees and buying 20 new laptops. So she used her American Express business card, which gives her more membership rewards points on her business purchases. Somebody order some laptops? Cynthia Suarez, CFO, MBB. Get the card built for business by American Express.
Tutor Dixon, you said a 14-year-old victim of abuse is a perfect example of why you went to ban abortion.
A 14-year-old who is a victim of abuse by an uncle.
Yeah.
Perfect
example. You want to ban abortion with no exceptions. No exceptions.
Are you for the exemptions for work with incest?
I am not. And you called the law that criminalizes abortion a good law. A good law? You put nurses and doctors in jail just for doing our job. Tutor Dixon's timeline approach is too dangerous for Michigan.
Hasta Expedia Navigator take up to 30% when you are at hotel so you can learn every Wednesday. Now, you got a sweet
Adventure
Columbus Blue Jackets just took his helmet off. Mike Vogt and medical checkers there. This is what they're looking at. A little discomfort. Patrick Line. You can see that right elbow gets extended as he goes in the boards here on the forecheck. Pesci, and it's right there. Right that hit goes on the elbow of Patrick Line.
So I was just typing in one of the goals there. So from the Valley Sports Ohio side, let's get an update here from the Valley Sports Ohio side. It was Patrick Line that got his shoulder hyperextended. He's taking that helmet off and he's trying to brush aside any pain. We will see if he returns to that game. That would be a big blow to the Columbus Blue Jackets because, again, Line had scored the first goal of the game. And then Seth Jarvis had just tied this up in the second period. Let's return to the action now as Jesperi Kotkaniemi plays a pass across. This gets picked up now by Brady Shea. Shea trying to find Pesci. And Shea will stick handle this one. This gets intercepted. It's 2-2 the other way as Chinikov and Sillinger will dump this one in deep. Gustav Nyquist gets worked off the puck. He's the assistant captain nowadays here for Columbus. Tristan Danforth, big hit as he lays down the body. So Danforth is definitely the executioner and the philanthropist of hits here, if you want to call him that. He's the one that brings the pain, and he's looked pretty active throughout this game right now. He goes to the bench as he drops the shoulder. He's not wearing the gloves here, which I kind of find that a little bit auspicious. Stolen off the pass. Oh, with a bid. As one of those ones got turned over there by Gurvikov there on defense. Vladislav Gurvikov lost it, and this fell back to Daniel Tarasov, and he's going to try to settle things down. So that was a good save there by Tarasov. Couple turnovers there that turned into some opportunities. One of them, Patrick Line scored, and wow, Svechnikov got just hit right in the mouth. That was a good, clean hit. I think Danforth lost one of his gloves. That's why I only seen him with one glove on. But just before he went to the bench, he made sure to be able to get a big hit there on Svechnikov. So 3 shots, 2 hits, 10 ships, 7:22 of ice time for Justin Danforth. And dare I say, those look pretty good for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Offensive zone draw here for the Hurricanes. This is one clean. This goes to Brent Burns, looking for the wrist shot deflection. And that one goes just wide. Burns now rattles this around the kick plate as this gets bounced around. Try to get picked up now by Carolina, and this gets dumped down the ice where this will find the goal stick of Freddie Anderson. He's going to play this here to the defenseman, but good forechecking here by Columbus. Try to break something out here quickly. That's how they scored that first goal with Patrick Line. It was a simple clear around the boards by Jacob Slavin that got turned over. Jordan Martinook tried to make something happen. Carolina gets the turnover, shut right on, gets deflected aside by Tarasov. This is with Erica Branson. Now Brent Burns will steal near the right dot, looking for the deflection. Can this stay in? Yes, it will. Here's a chance now. Jacob Slavin off the backhand. He's going to rattle this around the kick plate to Jordan Martinook. Martinook finds Burns. Looks for another deflection, and that one goes wide. We'll pick it up now and intercept it. Try to find Jacob Slavin with the pass. And Columbus can go ahead and take some changes. Brent Burns will get this one to Sebastian Aho. He's got time to line and fire. Instead, waits for a pass. Backhand. Try to find Jarvis. That went wide, but Jarvis picked it up before it crossed the blue line. Centered out in front to Teravainen. And he tried to bank it off the stick of Tarasov. As Carolina now all of a sudden looking dangerous with a 10-20 mark in the second period. Jalen Chatfield tried to throw it over to Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Now picked up by Carolina. Aho. Teravainen. Chatfield looking for the deflection. Loose on the front. Teravainen couldn't get a stick to it. And now this goes to Columbus. Columbus and across the red line. Trying to find their way through, but a host of sea of red jerseys in that eye of the Hurricane are going to swallow that one up. As Jaden Chatfield will go to check up and put this puck down the ice. This will not be iced as this finds Andrew Peak, but he turns it over. Tried to stay right out in front was Derek Stefan. He tried to beat Johnny on the spot, and this gets rattled down to Tarasov. It's in between his skate blades momentarily. He didn't know where it was, and now Johnny Gaudreau will try to help the Columbus Blue Jackets race right to left across the timeline. Gaudreau in the high slot off the backhand, trying to hold near the right dot, still holding off the forehand. Backhand pass, long shot by Zach Werenski and held. 9:26 left to go in the second period. We get a commercial break and a stoppage, tied at 1. Hopefully we will see if Patrick Line again with the shoulder injury He is going to the players' bench. We'll see if he returns. Come right back.
We made childcare more affordable, invested in education, got kids back into class, and didn't raise taxes. Yes, it's been tough, but we're tougher. Well, I'm not 100% sold yet.
Okay, have you? It's fine, love. She's not interested. I get it. I don't want to save money. I don't know. Renters and homeowners can bundle and save. For what? Trip to Bora Bora? Bora Boring.
Okay, you know what?
I'm in. She's all yours. What's the toppings?
Nah, I'm not really moved.
Yeah, you're right. It's not messy. All the napkins, those different toppings.
Actually, I'm in.
Yeah, you are.
Son. Love this thing. Expedia tracks the price of your flight and lets you know when it's best to go. So you can go and see more of all the world in a second.
Why is Roger happy? It's the little things Carvana does. See, Roger wants to sell his car stacked. Little things like getting a real offer in 2 minutes really make Roger happy. So does Carvana's customer advocate Kate, picking up his car at roughly 10 a.m.
Hi, are you Roger?
Well, with the Honda Accord? Yes, I am. Right over there. Will I be getting...
And he loves that Kate pays him on the spot. Yeah, Ron? It's the little things that drive you happy. Will drive you happy at Carvana.
Well, take a look at the schedule, Jeff. You can see right away, starting with the back-to-back Metropolitan Division champs.
So Carolina, Tampa, St. Louis, and Vancouver are the first 4 games on the Blue Jackets on their schedule. So that is pretty damn tough right out the gate. The back-to-back between Tampa and St. Louis will be Friday and Saturday, so they get a day off after this one before they play those 2 teams. So, wow, that is tough. And if Patrick Laine misses some extended time, that could be tough too.
This would be, I was the employee. Yeah, I was there in 2000 and a wonderful country. Had a great time there. It was only for 10 weeks.
So right now the scores, Blur, is 1-1 between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going to get back into the official call here in a moment. 9:20 left to go in the second. It's 1-1, and we got our first power play of the contest. We'll see who this penalty is going to be on. So interference Pesce, 2-minute minor. Brett Pesce will put the Columbus Blue Jackets on the power play, their first one of the season, the first one of this contest, but it's 1-1. It was Patrick Laine and Seth Jarvis with the goal scorers. Patrick Laine and Zach Werenski. And if you're just joining me, Zablor, here on that side, it is Patrick Laine going to the players' bench with a hyperextended elbow. That's what they said on Valley Sports Ohio side. So we'll see how that shakes up the first line power play side. There's been a lot to talk about as far as Johnny Gaudreau, but everything has kind of been silent on that side. But we'll see if the power play can change any of that. So 9 minutes left to go in the second period. The Columbus Blue Jackets are on the first power play of the contest. Carolina blows a tire, allows Zach Werenski to hold this one across the blue line. Johnny Gaudreau near the right dot looking for a pass across to Werenski and Jakub Voracek. Now Gaudreau will collect. He's going to pass this one back to Zach Werenski. Jakub Voracek now probably playing where Patrick Laine should be on that first line. And Carolina will dump this one down the ice. There is $1:15 left to go in the first power play of the contest. It belongs to Columbus. They're trying to make this a 2-1 contest. It was Patrick Laine 11 seconds in the second period that gave the first goal of the game, and then Seth Jarvis off a beautiful steal and backhand behind the cage of Daniel Tarasov tied this game at 1. Clear, and the pass goes back to Tarasov as Johnny Gaudreau will get his change on the first power play line time. It's been pretty quiet there. So picked up now. Here's your chance for Columbus to break right to left across your radio dial. Cole Solinger will try to get this one deep in there with Sean Corrali. That's interesting on the second power play line. I don't know how much offense that's going to bring. As this goes back to Andre Kasha, and he's going to dump this one in of Daniel Tarasov and Columbus. Not much going on there first power play, and we'll see if they can get something going here. Picked up now by Boone Jenner, the Columbus Blue Jackets captain. Slavin tried to clear this one down the ice, and he did successfully so. Lone forechecker here was Jesperi Kotkaniemi. That pass went just wide and picked up now by Solinger. He's going to try to break through 3 different Carolina Hurricanes gets a shot on goal and scores! What a great play there by Cole Solinger. Look what I found. Between three Carolina Hurricanes, great individual effort on the power play goal. And excuse me if I couldn't just believe it with my own eyes. Played it through the body, played it through the skates, had to pirouette off the backhand, find it with a no look, put the wrist shot on, and score. It beat Freddie Anderson almost 5-hole, maybe left side of the bar. It looks like left side of the bar cheesing in. Cole Solinger, with a unreal effort, gives the Blue Jackets a 2-1 lead, and that is a great play. Rod Brendamore having a discussion, and maybe they're going to want to check this one for an offsides. That would be my guess. But it was three defenders, offsides or not, that got beat. So let's see, cross the line. Now, again, that happened too quickly for my eyes to see whether or not Cole Solinger got across the blue line before the puck, but Rod Brendamore challenged this immediately, and we're going to see if this one is called offsides. So that's what the Carolina Hurricanes will challenge. When I get another look at it, we'll see if I can relay this one to you. But that was a great goal, whether it's going to stand or not. Good effort there by Solinger. So there's two Hurricanes that are all over this blue line side, and the puck has not crossed the blue line yet before Solinger touches. So if he's not touching the puck, essentially would they say that there is an onside? You can leave one skate on, one skate off. I mean, this could be a tough call going the other way. And if it is going to be a tough call, that's probably because they're going to rule as long as it's not being played, you can skate offside if you're not playing the puck. That's the question. It's riding that line, and it's pretty close. And that would be the rule if it was cleared on sides, that you weren't playing the puck, you're just trying to battle through, and everyone else tried to ride that line, you can do that. But once you start to play the puck and go offsides, then you would be offsides. So we'll see if this is going to be definitive here. Headsets are off pretty quickly. What's the definitive call? No goal. So it was offside, and initially, as I would have thought, I'll put it to you like this, it looked like he was trying to battle for the puck, and he was already offside before the puck crossed. So that's normally what I would say to you, but last start of the playoffs, they always try to do the rule, well, if he's not making an active move to play the puck, you can kind of play that onside. So I wanted to not be so wishy-washy on it. My first call was offside, so Boone Jenner's goal gets negated, but still, that is a superhuman effort as we're still at 1. So Columbus Blue Jackets have 3 seconds left to go on the power play, so it's a successful challenge for Rod Brendamore's squad. And now we go back again, I think, just to check the score clock and make sure everything else is squared away before we get back to our official action. So 19-15 on the shot board in favor of the Blue Jackets. 4 seconds left to go on the power play. So now we're getting set for a neutral zone draw. This gets picked up by Gaudreau. And now the Columbus power play is going to end, as it was a big call that swung momentum the other way. Here's a chance centered out in front for Columbus again. Boone Jenner on the doorstep after almost getting a nasty goal there. And Freddie Anderson stopped it and made the save. So now the power play does officially end, and your score is 1-1 after the goal call was overturned. Let's get our official stats of the game right now, courtesy of the ESPN box score. I'm watching along on the Bally Sports Ohio side of ESPN Plus. If you want to follow along on Colorcast, if you want some higher quality audio, we're going to do this draw again. So this gives me time to give you some stats. So 19-15 on the shot board in favor of CBJ. It is 17-16 on hits in favor of Columbus, 22-12. Carolina is dominating the face-off dot right now, but it's still 1-1. And now this is going to be a hybrid icing against the Carolina Hurricanes as Jake Beam will last touch. So with 7:05 left to go in the second stanza, tied at 1. It's going to be an offensive zone draw upcoming here for the Blue Jackets. And also another time for me to be able to give you some stats that I haven't brought to you yet. So for Carolina, here's my question. When you're thinking about being first in the Metro last year, 54-20-8, 116 points, they lost in the second round in 7 games against the New York Rangers, where they won all the games at PNC, but they did not win a single game at home, and they had trouble scoring in the playoffs. And that was the problem. Sebastian Aho, Thibaut Teravainen, and Andrei Svechnikov could not get it going. We know that their defense and everything else is going to carry away the time of day, really, as Calvin DeHaan is going to get set to go to the box. It'll put Columbus on their second power play of the contest. If it wasn't for a goal that was just overturned, they could have been 1-for-1, but now Calvin DeHaan gives them another opportunity. So with Aho, Svechnikov, and Teravainen, they had trouble scoring in the playoffs. They were great in the regular season. Aho's coming off 37 games, played 44 assists, 81 points. Andrei Svechnikov, 30, 39, and 69. Thibaut Teravainen, 22 goals, 43 assists, 65 points. They lost Vincent Trocheck, Tony DeAngelo, and Nino Niederreiter in the offseason. And they gained Andre Kasha and Brent Burns. So we will see how that goes across. I'm expecting regular season success for Carolina once again, but postseason is a whole different animal. And the health of Freddie Anderson is very important because he couldn't play a single game in the playoffs. So Daniel Tarasov at the clear, and this gets played by Zach Werenski. He's going to try to go right to left across your radio dial. Johnny Gaudreau now, picking up now with Jakub Voracek. Voracek now for Jenner. And this is going to play across the kick plate there. Johnny Gaudreau trying to get a piece of it off the backhand, finds Zach Werenski in the high slot, plays a pass to Voracek. Voracek will play crisscross with Danforth. Voracek gets knocked off the puck. Carolina and Shea. Brady Shea gets this one out. Johnny Gaudreau, extra pass. Danforth, shot on, gets stopped there by the stick there of Freddie Anderson. And this gets dumped down the ice. It's now 3-2 Boston over Washington. So it was 3 straight goals for Boston, and Washington gets 2 more in the second period of action. 1-1 in our contest. Columbus Blue Jackets on the power play, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes at PNC. And Chinikov will go offsides. So 40 seconds left to go on the Columbus power play. 20 shots to 16. Officially here on the Valley Sports Ohio Chiron. Is where I'm watching this game right now. Again, if you want clear audio, Colorcast side with iPhone, and you're watching on the YouTube side, I appreciate it. And I apologize that I can't stream the game for you without getting some copyright strikes against me. But I appreciate anyone following along. This gets picked up now by Columbus as they're trying to get something going across, and I almost messed up my computer windows. Freddie Anderson will pick this one up now. Boone Jenner trying to get a piece of it as he's battling Jesper Fast. We've almost hit the 5-minute marker of the second period as we are tied at 1. This is a great angle on the Valley Sports Ohio side as Jesper Fast just keeps getting his face digged into the glass, and they're still trying to pry this puck loose. And now it finally finds Carolina, who intermittently ices the puck. So a penalty is going to be called. And is this one finally going to go against Columbus? And they'll put Carolina on their first power play of the contest. Who will this be on is the question. This looks like Cole Solinger right now. And when we come in from the break, it'll be Carolina on their first power play of the season, looking to make this a 2-1 contest. Come right back, second period action in a moment. Toronto has just taken a 2-1 lead. So let's get you caught up in the goal scoring. It was Michael Bunting in the first at the 11:41 mark from Mitch Marner and TJ Brody. Cole Caulfield scored 33 seconds in after narrowly scoring at the end of the first period from Nick Suzuki and David Savard, and then Dennis Manglin from John Tavares and William Nylander at 9:06 gives the Maple Leafs a 2-1 lead with 8:19 left to go in the second. And your goal scorers for Boston and Washington. It was Patrice Bergeron that got it going on the power play from David Pastrnak and David Krejci. And then Pastrnak at 15:03 made it a 2-0 lead for Boston, assisted by Krejci and Connor Clifton. Taylor Hall made it a 3-0 Boston lead with David Pastrnak and Mike Riley. And then Anthony Mantha got the Capitals on the board from Dylan Strome and Eric Gustafson. And then Connor Sheary from Nick Dowd at the 12:43 mark makes it 3-2 now, as Washington scored 2 straight after Boston scored 3 straight. And that is officially done after 2 periods of play. So let's look at this while we're in commercial break as well. Do we have any Major League Baseball updates? We are scoreless. At the top of the 5th, the Phillies are up with 2 outs, 1 man on.
Shut this down. And Carolina impressive with their penalty kill. The Blue Jackets, I like their power play and how it needs to get better. Their penalty kill needs to get better too. It needs to be up around 25%. And last season,
So Columbus's penalty kill was around 78%. They would like that to be higher, and immediately face-off winning shot there. Martinook had a chance for a bid. That was Teuvo Teravainen, and Daniel Tarasov makes the save. And they just wanted that to be better. Well, you can't allow point-length looks off the power play, but that's just a good win by Aho. He wins it clean. This goes right to Teuvo Teravainen. Tarasov made the save, now picked up by Carolina in the high slot off the bomb. This bounces back off the right post off the inboards, and Tarasov made the save as Brent Burns was trying to hunt for a goal there. So a minute 50 left to go on the Carolina power play. They've won 2 straight draws, and they've looked dangerous. It was Teuvo Teravainen and now Brent Burns that just missed an opportunity. So $1.50 left to go on the power play, 4:46 left to go in the second stanza. Aho trying to make this 3 for 3 on the power play draw. He does. He wins it clean to Brent Burns, and the shot gets blasted and blocked before it found Tarasov. Brent Burns has it now in the high slot. Slap shot near the right side, and this gets held by Tarasov. So nice job there. Seth Jarvis with the bid. Aho's done wonders here within 21 seconds of the power play. He's won 3 straight draws, and Carolina trying to add to their draw total. Aho can't win 4 straight as Columbus gets this one down, but it's not deep yet as Jarvis will go ahead and pick this one up. He's going to race left to right across your radio dial. With the red jerseys are the Carolina all red at that. Seth Jarvis trying to work in behind the office of Tarasov, and Sean Corrali will get this one down for Columbus. 4:05 left to go in the second. John Hunter with you from PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. Carolina on their first power play of the contest. Jarvis with the half spin. Couldn't get the shot off. Teuvo Teravainen finds Burns now. Jarvis, extra pass. It gets deflected. Almost bounced off one of the zebras. Picked up now as Svechnikov plays this to Burns. Now Jarvis holding in the high slot. Svechnikov, extra pass. Tried to find Stasny, and it might have been blocked by Erica Branson and Sean Corrali before it hit Daniel Tarasov. So Carolina gets another offensive zone draw. No, they haven't scored within a minute and 10 of it, but it's looked pretty damn good as far as their puck movement and some of these chances. And almost an expert behind the back pass by Jarvis. He has been my player of the game for Carolina, no doubt about that. He has been active. He scored a goal. He set up his teammates. He's looked to score. He's looked like the best player. Another offensive zone draw win. That's 4 out of 5 on the power play. That gives Carolina some time with Marty Natchez. Natchez will play this one back as Jarvis lost it. And now he's going to go back to pick this one up. As the eye of the hurricane with Marty Natchez tries to pick it up now. Natchez off to the races as he plays a pass across. He's going to win near the high side of the faceoff. Donald crisscross in front of the net. Fanned on a shot was Jesperi Kotkaniemi, but Natchez cleans it up. Pass in the high slot. Stopped there by Tarasov. And now Columbus can finally get this down and bounce in the players' bench. So this is going to be a draw that's going to be pretty close here for Carolina as the pressure has really not been alleviated. It bounced off Nyquist. So 14 seconds left to go in the Carolina power play. And again, it's their first of the contest in a 1-1 scoreline, but it's looked pretty good. Svechnikov had his shot blocked. Nyquist was able to pick it up. Nature's still back out there. He's looking for the draw win. So we'll see if Carolina can do this again. It looks like Jesperi Kotkaniemi is in on the draw right now against Corrali. Kotkaniemi wins. It's 5 of 6 draw wins off the power play. Slavin, I think, almost hit the bar. This goes back. Marty Natchez finds Slavin in the slot, but he fanned on it. And Carolina power play is going to end. in the high slot down near the left dot. And that one goes wide by Svechnikov as Columbus dodges a series of bullets. It was 5 out of 6 face-off losses. Carolina still with it. Tarasov says no, holds on to that left post. As Brent Burns had another shot, he comes together with Solinger. They have a couple of stick checks and meetings. Boone Jenner joins in as well. So the pressure again has been turned up a little bit. And Brent Burns, he's not afraid to throw the body around and get in the face of some of these players. And Solinger and Burns have a few words to exchange to each other. So 5 out of 6 face-off wins for Carolina on their first power play, a host of chances. And whether or not it was Daniel Tarasov having to stop all of them is a formality. It was heavy workload for the Columbus Blue Jackets defense, and they bent a lot, but they didn't break. So Jakub Voracek now out there with Boone Jenner. 20 shots now even on the shot board, and the score Chiron's also even, tied at 1. It was Patrick Laine early in the second period, 11 seconds in, and then it was F. Jarvis, but unfortunately for Blue Jackets fans, Laine left to the players' bench, and he has not returned since hyperextending an elbow. That was the last word that I had heard throughout the broadcast. Now Corrali will get this one down deep. This gets picked up by Chinakhov. Chinakhov trying to get this. Slap shot from the defensive side by Gabranson. That one gets stopped there by Freddie Anderson and maybe partially blocked as well. It's a one-on-one foot race that's going to be won by Columbus with Jordan Martinook and Jesper Fast trying to get this one in there clean. Boone Jenner gets a pass across as this goes down the ice. Freddie Anderson will come way out of the goal crease to play this one, but he's got to hustle back in as this gets picked up now by Gavrikov. And Freddie Anderson was down near the right post, but the shot got blocked before it got to him. Jesper Fast will spin around, try to pick back up now, and now Corrali will pry this loose. Here's a chance now. Chinakhov will dump this one in deep, and this one goes off the kick plate. There was a big hit on the other side delivered by Carolina. Johnny Gaudreau comes together. He has some words. He doesn't like what's going on. But Gaudreau, Marchis, Martinook, all these other guys are looking pretty good here between Natchez, Martinook, Johnny Gaudreau with the physicality. Brent Burns was also in there as well. The shot whistled high off the glass. This should be a neutral zone draw coming for Carolina and Columbus. But we'll see what ends up happening. There was a big hit on the other side delivered by Slavin on Gaudreau as he tried to clear that one in. So no quarter given on either side, and that's what you love to see. So Cole Solinger trying to win an offensive zone draw against Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Solinger does win it. This goes to Zach Werenski through the screen. Columbus got it. Freddie Anderson down and somehow made the save, holding on to that left post. Marty Natchez looking for a 3-on-2 breakout. Natchez in the high slot, holding off the backhand. Slap shot scores! Carolina takes the lead. Brady Shea makes it 2-1. So Carolina was buzzing all around that power play. I felt like they had a lot of the momentum. They were able to find their way east to west across your radio dial, and the shot comes back from a pass to Brady Shea. He makes it 2-1 Carolina. And mark that one down just about 10 seconds ago for Freddie Anderson holding on to that left post, which gave Carolina an opportunity to attack. Drop pass to Brady Shea. Carolina makes it 2-1, and that's how quickly things can change. 21 on the shot board across, but Carolina has just taken the lead. Dos to uno. So $1:25 left to go in the second period. Tarasov now trying to look on as this goes back to Gavrikov. Now Boone Jenner will pick this one up with Erica Branson. This gets dumped down around Freddie Anderson. We got about 1:10 left to go in this second period. Picked up now by Calvin DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan, former New York Islander, plays this one across, and now this is a 3-on-3 off of Derek Stefan. And there was a chance for Daniel Tarasov to make the change, and everybody again is coming together as words are exchanged. And this has just been more than some pleasantries and some face washing. There's been some punches throwing about between these two teams. And ever since this second period started, things have gotten a little more physical as we've hit about less than 1 minute remaining. Just over 58 seconds left to go in the second period. John out here with you. I'm following along on ESPN Plus of the Valley Sports Ohio feed. anticipating the debut of Johnny Gaudreau in Columbus. I was also anticipating working with Patrick Laine on that same line was Gaudreau, but Patrick Laine had to go into the players' bench. Chinikov loses the draw. Was pinballed out in front to Tarasov, but it went just wide of the right post. Held in by Brett Pesce. Finds Brady Shea. Looking for Aho off the pass and fluttered to him. He's still trying to keep this alive, but Boone Jenner, the captain, will pick this one up. It's a rolling puck. It's going to get picked up now by Pesce. Pesce now will bank this off the kick play, try to get picked up by Sebastian Aho. Thibaut Teravainen will collect Svechnikov. He lets it go, but that one goes just wide. Aho plays this to Pesce. Pesce, series of moves, try to find Teravainen. And this bounces back to Pesce. Pesce with a long shot, and that goes up and on a play. This should still be an offensive zone draw here for the Hurricanes, as they're trying to make it another one just before the second period expires. Right now, as it stands, it's 2-1. It's Brady Shea with the last goal as Chinikov will go to the players' bench here for Columbus. No worse for wear. Mad that he kind of lost an offensive zone draw that led to some chances here for Carolina. And the story of the contest so far, especially in this second period, whether or not you agree with me, the face-off circle dot has been dominated by the Hurricanes. Let's give them tons of extended chances. 10 seconds left to go in the second. Here's a chance for Svechnikov off the backhand, holding the left side red line. Marty Necas into the screen. He's going to get it back. He's going to run out of time. And so is Boquist as the whistle is blown. 2-1 after 2. It is Jarvis and Brady Shea with the goals that have given Carolina the lead. Patrick Laine was the lone goal scorer in the second, but ever since going to the locker room, he has not returned. When we come back, we'll call the third period action, see if we can get a winner or if we need overtime. Stay tuned. So we are in commercial break. I will keep you abreast of any kind of scoring updates as we go along, maybe some baseball stuff. I'm going to type in some of these goals and get my notes together for the game story that will follow. And then we will see what updates need to be made.
They've challenged us to do a lot of things. What will we do next? On the power of dreams.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
If you're a 19-year-old with certain chronic conditions like COPD, asthma, or diabetes, you may be at an increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 20 is approved in adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most common side effects were pain and swelling at the injection site, muscle pain, fatigue, headache, and joint pain.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
That's why I chose to get vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Because just one dose can help protect me from pneumococcal pneumonia.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20 today.
Expedia members can take up to 30% on annual hotel room flights. You can fly every Asian country. No, you gotta sleep. Amazon offers free technical training programs to help employees advance into higher-paying careers.
I was looking for a new start, and I found out about this amazing program. They'll train you from the ground up. My salary has increased 3 to 4 times.
It's big, it's back, and it's still $6. Get the big box y'all love today.
I like to smell my beard after a really good meal. Dude, you don't need to get that person to get the State Farm personal price plan. It just helps you create an affordable price. In fact, your neighbor, State Farm is there. Call it click to get a quote today.
Two unanswered goals for the Canes as we hit our Toyota second intermission. Carolina enjoys a 2-1 lead against the Jackets. Jackets scored the first 11 seconds of the frame. That's all good. A goal comes off the board after video review, but above all that right now, you're thinking about finishing this game right now without Patrick Line.
Yes, and there's you have to put the lines in the blender, as they say, because you have Patrick Line, who's on your first power play, and obviously on that first line. Now you have to get Gaudreau some new line mates, and Boone generate new line mates, so they're rotating, but that's part of the battle. Obviously, you don't want to run into a situation like that in the first game of the year, but that is part of hockey. It's a marathon.
Here we are. 2-1 game right now. Back to the rink. Here's Nets with JP.
Well, Jake, unfortunate late goal in that period, but otherwise, what do you think of the defensive effort here for the first 40?
Yeah, so far pretty solid. Protecting the middle of the ice well for the most part. Getting the goal on that. And, they're good team too, so we just got to kind of roll with it.
Yeah, you as well as anyone know how lethal these guys can be. What's the secret to keeping them at bay a little bit?
Yeah, well, they feed off chaos. They just shoot everything in the net. That's their game plan. So we got to be diligent. We got to sticks in front of the net box. We got to outblock the shots if we can't pick up sticks. So we got to keep going with that. Take away the chances they get.
Only T-ball time here for you. You were drafted by this team. Is this an extra motivation for you this offseason?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was back to last year, so that kind of wiped it away. But it's always fun to be back. That's the atmosphere and it's something
Thanks for listening.
Hey, Jackets.
Welcome to the new Columbus Alternative.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and find the car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana, enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno...
Okay, so let's give you a quick scoring recap. There was nothing to speak of in the first period. It was Patrick Line in the second, right away, 11 seconds in from Zach Werenski. It was pretty much a clear that was trying to go around, I believe, of Jacob Slavin. Just a regular clear right off the inboards, turned over, good forecheck work. Patrick Line finds it, snipes, and scores. And then Seth Jarvis off another clear for Columbus out of their own end. And a pass just went right to Seth Jarvis and went to the wrong jersey. So the 5-12 mark, he scores. It's unassisted. 1-1 is your score. And then it stayed that way until the 18:30 mark, the last minute 30 of the second period. It was Brady Shea. It was good work there by Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Marty Natchez. Drop pass from Natchez to Shea into the traffic. He scores it, gives Carolina a 2-1 lead after 2 periods of play. And that is where we stand right now. So for all intents and purposes, everything that we know, Patrick Line, and again, this is a little bit devastating, I would say, because it's just game 1 of the regular season. He's not going to return. He hyperextended his elbow. So for all the fanfare that you had for Johnny Gaudreau being able to enjoy and enter this game and play with some new line mates for a 7-year term coming over from the Calgary Flames, now you don't have Patrick Line. So there's going to be even less room on the ice for Johnny Gaudreau. Again, this is just game 1, but we'll see how much time Patrick Line is going to miss, and we'll see how much fantasy hockey owners, if you're on that side of it, how much they are going to miss him. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to flip around just to see on the ESPN Plus side, because we got some time. We'll see what happens here as far as the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens, if that's going on, and we'll give you a scoring update if that's not in a commercial. So that one isn't a commercial, so we'll just go back to our game. As we flip around, go coast to coast here. I have the Bally Sports Ohio side that I'm broadcasting from ESPN Plus. So let's give you a scoring update around the league. So as we look on the hockey side, it is Toronto and Montreal tied at 2 after 2. So first period goal, the lone score was Michael Bunting at the 11:41 mark from Mitch Marner and TJ Brody. Then it was 3 goals in the second, 2 for Montreal won for Toronto. It was Cole Caulfield 33 seconds in after he just narrowly missed one at the end of the first. Nick Suzuki and David Savard got the assists, and then Dennis Mulligan from John Tavares and William Nylander at the 9:06 marker, and then Cole Caulfield with his second of the game unassisted at 15:56. So I wonder if the Vegas Golden Knights miss Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. Man, oh man, those guys will be stars for years to come. Maybe Montreal will be on the Connor Bedard watch for the #1 pick, but still, those guys are going to be doing a lot of damage for a long time. Third period action. Boston still has a 3-2 lead over Washington. It was 3 straight goals for Boston. Patrice Bergeron on the power play from David Pastrnak, David Krejci, and David Pastrnak for the 15:03 mark from Krejci and Connor Clifton, and then Taylor Hall in the second period at 6:14 from Pastrnak and Mike Riley, and then 2 unanswered goals for the Washington Capitals. It was Anthony Mantha at 7:34 from Dylan Strome and Eric Gustafson, and then Connor Sherry at the 12:43 marker from Nick Dowd. And that is still where we stand right now. When I did the show with Cooper Hopkins about a month and a half ago for the NHL trade deadline, I can't believe it's been that long. But we're talking about one team that could get in and one team that could get out of the Eastern Conference. He has Boston out. But with David Krejci just coming back from overseas from last year, he's getting a little older. He's about 35 years of age now. Already 2 points in this game. He's looked good. So those are your hockey scores that are live right now. Any baseball scores to look at? Still scoreless now in the bottom of the 6th between Philadelphia and Atlanta. They are just going to be up to bat, are the Braves. This game was supposed to start at, I believe, 4:45 Eastern. Long, significant rain delay. It's now 9:04 Eastern. We are scoreless. And the Padres and the Dodgers are 1-1. It is the Padres with 2 on and 1 out in a pitching matchup that will have Clayton Kershaw and Yu Darvish. So those are your scores during the intermission. I'm glad you are enjoying this contest. Again, next week, Tuesday, will be the start of the NBA season. I will be on the call of that. So between the NHL and the NBA, between the start of the regular season all the way through the playoffs, I will be your guy. Most of these will be solo endeavors, just like many things in life, but especially when we get into the postseason, things will get a little bit different as far as the guests and who's going to be on there. As I know, I'll be joined by Cooper Hopkins a little bit more when we get to that point. Hopefully, him and I can team up on tomorrow's contest between the Avalanche and the Flames. I might have to do that one myself because that's just too spicy to miss.
Because why is Roger happy? It's the little things Carvana does. See, Roger wants to sell his car stacked. Little things like getting a real offer in 2 minutes really make Roger happy. So does Carvana's customer advocate Caitlin, picking up his car at promptly 10 a.m.
Hi, are you Roger?
Working with the Honda Accord? Yes, I am. Right over there. Will I be getting...
And he loves that Kate pays him on the spot. Yeah, Raj? It's the little things that drive you happy. They'll drive you happy. At Carvana.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prep 920.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
If you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like COPD, asthma, or diabetes, you may be at an increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 20 is approved in adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have severe allergic reaction to the vaccine.
Welcome back to our Toyota second and Kings lead Jackets by a goal. Jackets with an early one in the frame, obviously the power play goal. Full cylinder story. Maybe you let that count just because. Just saying. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But again, it does not count Jackets trail by one. The story in this game right now is how the Jackets got things started with Patrick Laine scoring, and how they have to finish this game now without Patrick Laine because of the injury. This was first shift, second period, JL, and top corner.
Yeah, 11 seconds in, and no chance for Freddie Anderson there. Nice pinch by Zach Wierenski, and Patrick Laine gets a rocket on the blocker side.
Yeah. Here's the injury. Pesci with a hit in the Laine's arm. It is an upper body injury, clearly. And he won't return. So right now that is irrelevant in this game because the Jackets have 20 minutes left to try to overcome the 1-goal deficit. And through the first part of that second period, right up until the turnover that allowed the Canes to score, the Jackets looked like they were starting to find some footing.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the shot total, 14-13 advantage to Columbus Blue Jackets, but later in the period, you can see Carolina found that second period. For the Blue Jackets, kind of like what you did in that first period. You got to stop it, create that momentum, gain that momentum back, and really push. So hopefully they can start really strong early in the third period there, but that push gets continued throughout the whole period.
The backbreaker for the Jackets is they felt as if they were on the verge of taking a 2-1 lead. The Jackets, that doesn't go past Freddie Anderson right the other way, and that's when the Kings scored, making a 2-1 game. Those types of momentum swings are the ones that right now you have to clear your head between periods and come back and overcome.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of these where we heard Jeff talk about it during the broadcast, and you're like, oh, Dan Ford like almost has it in, great save by Anderson. We turn around and like it's not like 2 shifts later; it's immediately or quick response, and that's what those championship teams do. They hurt you exactly like right after you miss a chance, so you have to be careful. For Blue Jackets, move on, start that third period like it's 0-0, and you just need to get 1 goal, get yourself back.
Just 1 goal. Let's head to the third period with some good vibes, maybe also some good barbecue. They do it well. Carolina Jackets in the comeback tonight.
Shooter Dixon, you said a 14-year-old victim of abuse is a perfect example of why you went to abortion.
A 14-year-old who is a victim of abuse by an uncle.
Yeah.
You're saying
example. You want to ban abortion with no exceptions. No exceptions.
Are you for the exemptions for rape and incest?
I am not. And you call the law that criminalizes abortion a good law. A good law? You think nurses and doctors in jail just for doing their job. Shooter Dixon's hardline approach is too dangerous for Michigan.
Meet Stuart Byron, owners of Small, a tiny home architecture firm. They were getting ready for a big pitch. Their 3D printer broke. Luckily, Small was with American Express Business and has the ability to pay off purchases over time with interest. They got new software and created a full augmented reality experience.
Very cool.
They won the pitch, and Small became better than ever. Get the card built for business by American Express.
Bubbles. 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 There are bubbles everywhere. As an Expedia member, you earn points on top of your airline bubbles, so you can go and see even more of all the world's bubbles.
You might have heard of Armada. Now we sell cars online. What you probably didn't know is that we're in the business of making you happy. We believe buying a car should be something that gets you hyped up. That you should be empowered to shop when you want, where you want, wherever you want. And that your new car
All right, folks.
and 0 surprises. So we promise that we'll treat you right. We'll put you in control. And all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy.
You'll drive me happy. At Carvana.
Do you believe in magic? Any opera's heart, how the music can break her whenever it starts and it's magic. Do you believe in magic?
This is El Clasico.
Is brought to you by your local Kia dealer. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Time for tonight's Capital Kia Game Summary.
Pretty even here for the Blue Jackets and the Hurricanes, except, of course, for the missed shots. And a lot of those were deflected and kept away out of the zone. Face-offs. You can see the numbers there. The offensive zone time is the one that is jumped up, and I think it jumped up in the past latter half of that period, second period.
Jeff Herbert, Jody Shelley rejoining you here, and Jody, your thoughts here as the Jackets get set for the third period. I thought they came on in the second. Obviously, unfortunately, they lose the services of Laine, but Jackets still right in this hockey game.
Absolutely. Down 2-1 on the road, meaning that this is the type of game you want to play. Now, they know where they went wrong, and that's where Brad Larson and the coaching staff would have pointed out in that intermission. Hey, this is what we gave them. This is where they felt like they were taking over and pushing on us. We have to stop doing this, and it's turnovers in the offensive zone, and it's not scrambling in the defensive zone. And I think if they clean up those two things, they'll be fine. Work to get your opportunities in the offensive zone. They will come, but there's a structure in place in all three zones. Take care of it. Give yourself the best chance to win and get back in the scoring advantages.
So I know there's been people following along on the YouTube side consistently. I appreciate that. We're going to get set here for third period action. So let's get set here with the third period action officially. It's 2-1 Columbus, or 2-1 Carolina, I should say, courtesy of Seth Jarvis and Brady Shea. Maybe it could be 2-2 there, but a shot got put just wide and right on then, deflected to Freddie Anderson and made the save of Boone Jenner. So immediate chance. That's what happened in the second period there when Patrick Laine, although he's no longer in this contest, that was 11 seconds in, just about the same point. Freddie Anderson tried to make a pass that got turned over, and then all of a sudden Freddie Anderson had to be on his P's and Q's and make the save. So let me pull up my depth charts here again. So Columbus wins the draw, but they can't keep it in. Was that in Boquist? And now it gives a chance for Carolina to get reset. They're going to make a change. There's Tilo Teravainen who put this one down the ice. This goes back to Daniel Tarasov. Picked up now by Boone Jenner. He's going to get this now from Gustav Nyquist. And Carolina will pick this back up. It goes back to Tarasov, and he's going to try this one more time with Zach Werenski in behind the cage. 19:15 left to go in the third. Carolina is enjoying a 2-1 advantage. Columbus has a 26-23 advantage on the shot board. They've played pretty well, although there's been a couple of turnovers here and there from both teams that at least caused one of those goals. And then Brady Shea got a shot out in front of a screen there from Marty Natchez off the pass, and that's what gave Carolina the lead with 18:30 left to go in the second. But as we are right now, it's 19:14 in the third. John out here with you from PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is game numero uno for the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. 6 games today in the NHL. We're going to get things squared away here between the Zebras. Maybe they want another puck. We're looking around between Brad Larson to see what he's thinking about. I'm going to go ahead and insert this cough drop while we're waiting. And now Brad Larson and the refs and everyone else have got everything all squared away. So we're back underneath the action. About 19 minutes left to go in the third. Rattled around the kick plate as Columbus will try to clear this out of the defensive zone. This touches the stick of Freddie Anderson. And now Brett Pesce and Brady Shea will be out there for Carolina. Jordan Stahl now off to the races. He's all alone in the middle of the slot. Fires. And this one is held there by Daniel Tarasov. So Tarasov getting the start for Elvis Merzlikins. He was a late scratch with an illness, and that's all we know right now. So he's day-to-day for Patrick Laine, though, with the hyperextended elbow. That's what I heard from the Bally Sports Ohio side. You think he might be missing some significant time. And for Columbus Blue Jackets squad, let's go back to this really quick and scroll up here in the notes. 37, 38, and 7, 81 points. You'd think that they're going to miss him a little bit for some extended time. So that kind of negates a little bit the fanfare of Johnny Gaudreau on that 7-year deal and the extension for Patrick Laine himself. Although it's a 6th season for Laine, he's still about 25 years of age. Aho's shot goes just a little wide. Picked up now by the Columbus Blue Jackets in their own end, but they got to be quick about it. It's Eric Branson and Jake Bean now, the third-line defense out there for Brad Larson's squad. This falls back to Freddie Anderson. Again, it's just good to see him back on the ice. He missed all of the postseason last year. For Carolina, they really could have used him because I think the Vegas favorites still have Carolina probably, 4th or 5th as far as the highest odds of winning the Cup? Do we have a call on the ice is the question. I will look at my ESPN box score, but no, it looks just like an offsides, no calls, as Erica Branson and Matthew Olivier are looking on. Boston has officially beat the Washington Capitals at 3-2 as your final. They were down 3-0 with the Capitals. They made it 3-2, but they couldn't get any farther in the inroads. DeHaan sent a shot. Tarasov made the save, and now this is near the right side red line. Columbus trying to find this thing, but it goes to Carolina. Pass played lazily a little bit toward the right dot. DeHaan able to flutter this in off of Martinook and keep it in, and Tarasov able to just collect the goal stick. But here comes Carolina now. I think this is Seth Jarvis trying to play it out in front. It's still loose, and it went to the right side of the bar and stayed out. Jalen Chatfield from the Han. Chatfield comes back and picks it up, centered it out in front. Chatfield paid the price for the pass, but now Carolina still like hyenas on hamburger meat, trying to find this thing. And this goes back down the ice to Freddie Anderson. Anderson will play this one with a goal stick. It bounces in across the red line. We'll see if Carolina can chip and chase with the second-year Seth Jarvis, who was excellent last year as a rookie for Carolina. Zach Werenski flutters a beautiful pass near an open left wing, but this is played with a high stick or an offsides. And we're going to do this again. 17-18 left to go in the third. John out here with you from PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. Carolina is a team that I've covered a few times here on Colorcast, probably about 7 or 8 times now, in combination with the playoffs. I got my start last year on this app on January. Just started doing YouTube probably 2-3 months ago. Look, I understand we got to get some more things as far as a goal scoreboard and a lot of other theatrics, but I figure if I'm consistently uploading, hopefully that can bring some eyes and ears in. And then Hopeless Sports Guy at WordPress.com, you get the complete game story and coverage with the play-by-play with the audio recorder on that side. So if you want it all, I should be covering the NHL and the NBA wall-to-wall while doing NFL picks on Saturday against the spread and doing the write-ups on Sunday. That'll all be there for you. That's probably going to be my life for the foreseeable, as Brent Burns takes a shot on it, gets glowed by Tarasov, and they have another meeting here between Svechnikov and Jenner. So 16:51 left to go in the third period. This has been a good contest. Again, I know they used the term on Bally Sports Ohio in the first period that maybe it looked like the first period of the first game of the season. I thought it was a more good defensive orientation between the Carolina Hurricanes that we've seen a lot. And again, it's opened up the scoring a little bit in the second as these teams have gotten their feet underneath them. But this contest has been pretty good right now. Burns from Slavin, pinballed up out of the air and play with the glove hand. And now Columbus between a 2-on-3 trying to get things going. Now it's 3-on-3. Here's a chance for Jenner in the high slot. The shot goes just wide. Picked up now by Teuvo Teravainen. He lost it. Walking into the high slot there was Chinikov, and he got stolen 2-on-2. Teravainen. Oh, Svechnikov with the shot. They got blocked on in front, and this one gets gloved and held by Tarasov. So this has been a good contest, as we've said. It's been good between these two teams. And for Columbus, that really wants to make some inroads and get back into the postseason in their 22nd official season in the NHL. Beating a team like Carolina would be a good jump start. And again, they've profiled on Bally Sports Ohio the schedule upcoming for Columbus, and it's not easy. So Carolina tonight, an off day, and then Tampa Bay and St. Louis. Oof. That one is rough to start the year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So this would go a long way if they can get a win against Carolina. So they're playing the tough teams out of the gate. Well, that's kind of what you want, but unfortunately for them, they're going to be missing Patrick Laine for a little bit, it seems like. Brady Shea trying to keep this away from Adam Boquist. And Boquist got a shot on goal with Roslovic, and that was turned aside there by Freddie Anderson. Jump out of the air, knock it out of the way. This goes back to Brady Shea. Nice move. Martinuk with a shot! Almost to the 5-hole of Tarasov. He holds on. So now 20 shots even, 29 shots even, now just 30 here for Carolina. So 30-29 is the shot board. Carolina's got a one-shot advantage, and they got a one-goal advantage, courtesy of Brady Shea with the latest in the late entrances part of the second period. Nothing so far in the third, with 15:54 left to go in the final stanza if there is not overtime. But Columbus has some work to do. Jordan Stahl gets it now to Brady Shea. He fluttered that one just wide of the right post. Stahl now plays a back pass. It's loose. And Kotkaniemi couldn't get a piece of it. Jesper Fast will go all the way back as Shea will slam this one around the inboards. Picked up now by Tarasov. Columbus trying to get out of the defensive end there with Jake Bean. He's getting worked over. Remember, Jake Bean was a former Carolina Hurricane. Another shot off Shea, and this one is held by Tarasov. So Tarasov, I think, has been pretty good. He has stopped 29 of 31 shots. And for a guy that wasn't even supposed to get the start, and with Jonas Korpisalo also being out, remember, Merzlikins and Korpisalo had tough years. So it's a lot to ask for Daniel Tarasov to be able to do this tonight, but I think he's been pretty good. And they're going to need more of that going forward in this game, probably going forward in the season, considering if Merzlikins going to be ready to go in Tampa and just the next night on Thursday. So back to back with Tampa and St. Louis. Aho wins another draw. Burns gets it across. And this one gets held by Tarasov again with a bid by Zeth Jarvis. So Tarasov, excellent one more time, and another win by Sebastian Aho. If face-offs are a thing in your fantasy league, if you play NHL fantasy league, I don't play a lot of fantasy sports, but if they are, Sebastian Aho's got to be the best man of the night right now. It seems like anytime there is an important draw or anytime there is a draw, Sebastian Aho will win it clean and play a nice two-way game. So it's Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, Brent Burns, Seth Jarvis out there right now for Carolina. Jarvis trying to get a piece of it, centered out to Tarasov, and he holds one more time after Carolina won 3 straight draws. 15-13 left to go in the third. John out here with you from PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm watching on ESPN Plus, the Valley Sports Ohio feed. Again, you want clear audio. If you got an iPhone, you can follow along on the Colorcast app or follow along on YouTube as you've been. I will be bouncing around between Facebook Live, Twitter Spaces, Colorcast, and I will always be on consistently on YouTube. So you don't have to worry there if that's your main platform. Jacob Slavin with the shot and get blocked by a host of Columbus defenders before it ever hit Tarasov. And now Brady Shea, Slavin, Burns and Slavin, I should say. Teravainen, this bounces off of him. This goes back to Erica Branson. This gets intercepted, picked up now by Columbus in their defensive end. 14:45 left to go in the third. Columbus needs a goal, but they still got plenty of time to do so. Branson with a slap shot, closed 5-hole, closed off there by Freddie Anderson. But this is kept in. Branson flubbed and lost it. Aho needs some reinforcements. Drop pass, one across, and he missed it. There was Jarvis. It was an open left side of the post for a slap shot off of 1T, and he just missed it. So now this goes back to Jalen Chatfield. Chatfield now with the defensive partner of Calvin DeHaan. Picked up now by Andrei Svechnikov. Svechnikov out there with Natchez, just trying to locate this puck near the left side red line. DeHaan kind of fans on it, but Natchez will pick it up. Natchez fires this in deep around the office of Tarasov, looking for the wraparound, and that got blocked off by Columbus. Still loose out in front. Columbus blocks it before it ever hit Tarasov. Columbus now trying to make something happen left to right across your radio dial. They got the white jerseys and the blue pants. Carolina in the all red, attacking right to left. Columbus trying to hold off the man on defense. Picked up now Natchez. Martinook off the backhand. Extra pass. Martinook trying to find it. Here's a chance for Natchez, sliding over. And Natchez scores. Tarasov tried to slide over. Voracek tried to help him out, but Marty Natchez, that could be a huge goal in this contest. It is now 3-1 Carolina. And Marty Natchez never stopped working on the forecheck. Martinook, there was a shot. Natchez, it found its way back around. It was loose in the high slot. He finds it. So great forecheck work by Natchez. And then he got in the right spot in the high slot, finished it off. That is a yeomanship goal there by Martin Natchez. And it's a 3-1 lead for the Canes with 13:20 left to go in the third. That is how you do it there. So here's a chance now. Robinson tries to find it here as Columbus badly needs an answer now. Down 1, they could have been fine, but down 2 against Carolina. They're one of the best with the lead. Powering their way to the front was Tarasov, and they really got some skate blades and sticks in front of the Columbus Blue Jackets goaltender. And no doubt that there's going to be a meeting in behind the cage of the netminder with Erica Branson. We take a break. Come right back. Marty Natchez just made it 3-1.
grocery prices. So we promise that we'll treat you right. We'll put you in control. And all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy. You'll drive you happy at Carvana.
They can win the lawsuit that everybody knows who wrote that song.
Oh, gosh, it's been forever. Oh, fantastic. It's John. Him, from the Blind Date Bureau, I understand?
The struggling actor who didn't believe he could save his snapshot makes somehow come with your cars.
I'd love to talk about it over dinner sometime.
Well, I usually don't talk on the phone during dinner, but for potential customer Tom Ham, I will make an exception.
Illustrator, and it's the start of the second period. With Jenner and Patrick Laine. Laine's on the right side, and as his puck hits the ice, they're going to go right to work. And how along the way, Johnny Gaudreau, Patrick Laine jump. You got Blue Jenner in the middle of the ice. They're going to pursue the puck here, and that's Gaudreau taking away.
It's getting the goal typed in there. The last one was Marty Natchez. This one was at, let's get the official time, is 6:29 right now. ESPN box score has it courtesy of Derek Stepan. So it's 3-1 with 13:08 left to go in the third. Let's get back into the official action. Marty Natchez has just scored at the 13:08 marker here in the third, and that's where we're at right now. 3-1. Carolina trying to get the win on home ice against the Columbus Blue Jackets in Johnny Gaudreau's debut. We're going to have a penalty call. This is hooking. And we'll see what this is going to be on. I think this is going to be against Columbus, according to the Valley Sports Ohio broadcast. From what I see, this is in Danforth into the box. So 2-minute minor for a hook and hold. And that's going to put Carolina on the power play. I believe that's going to be Carolina's second power play of the contest. So, yes, 2 aside for both. And no power play goals as of yet, although the second one for Carolina has not even started yet. So 3-1 Carolina, although I thought at times there was some good effort there for Columbus earlier in the first and second. But again, another face-off one here for Carolina, and I will make sure I make that a mental note in my story, because every single time Carolina is able to start their power play, they win the draws and subsequently fire pucks at the net, and they are just buzzing around Tarasov. And I will make note of this too. Tarasov has been excellent throughout this contest. Another face-off wins. Burns with another shot, and that pinball is high and wide off the kick plate. So the Hurricanes are 0 for 1 with 3 shots on the power play. But honestly, guys, it feels about like 17. There's been so many that's buzzed around. Burns, Aho, trying to work his way through the high slot, could not keep it in across the blue line. And the Hurricanes will have to reset with Teuvo Teravainen. And this pass gets picked off, falls back to Brent Burns. As Teravainen needed to help him out. No, Teravainen will try to go east to west here across your radio dial. They're going right to left officially in this period in the all red jerseys. Left to right will be the Columbus Blue Jackets trying to get this out of the defensive zone. Blue Jackets do clear, but this goes in across the red line. We're almost at the halfway marker of the third period. This does not look like an overtime game at this point, like it did last night, but it was criminally taken away. Teuvo Teravainen. His shot gets blocked there off of Daniel Tarasov, and we will do this again as it falls back to Freddie Anderson. 45 seconds left to go on the Carolina power play. Svechnikov, series of moves. He will get it back now from Teuvo Teravainen. And this one goes back down the ice once again. So Columbus has been pretty good on their penalty kills so far. Both of these teams looking to be 100%, as they showed Jack Roslovic going to the players' bench. Carolina, 25 seconds left to go on their second power play. Nothing going on off the offsides entry. I'm going to do this again. 11:13 left to go in the final stanza. Carolina has a 3-1 lead and a 39-30 advantage on the score and shot Chiron. I am watching this again on ESPN Plus on Valley Sports Ohio side. You can follow along on YouTube. You can also follow along on Colorcast if you have an iPhone. Broadcasting under John Ryan on if you need some higher quality audio. If you want to watch some other things while you're listening along. Totally up to you. Picked up now by Sean Corrales as he tried to find it. This goes back there in between Martin Nook. Now Brett Pesce lets it go. He risks it just wide of the right bar. Carolina circles this around with Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi now Back in between Pesci. Pesci. Crisscross to Shea. That one goes wide. Martinuk sends it to the screen, and somehow it goes in and beats Tarasov. 4-1 Carolina. Quick snapshot there, and this could be Andrei Svechnikov's goal. Don't even know how that went in, but there was so much traffic that somehow it found its way. It was a shot near the right dot, let's just say, pass near the left face-off dot that, wow, looked like a pass, maybe trying to find Paul Stastny, but it just blew right by Denis Tarasov, and that might be one of the three that Tarasov would want to have back. But now it's 4-1. And when you're going against Carolina, this feels like an insurmountable lead. Andrei Svechnikov with his first of the season at the 9:18 marker. Svechnikov now knocked off the puck as he's back out there with Martinuk and Jordan Staal. Stolen. Carolina has been all over them in this third period right now. Jordan Staal gets the steal. Takes it off the kick play now near the right dot. The shot gets blocked, centered out in front, and Staal just fanned on it. As we're getting close to the halfway marker of the third, mercifully here for the Blue Jackets. It looked good. They scored the first goal of the game, but then when Patrick Laine went out, it's been 4 straight for Carolina. They're in the eye of the hurricane now, and the Blue Jackets need to stop reeling and get something going. Again, it's just game 1, but between the first 3 opponents being Carolina, Tampa Bay, and St. Louis, you got to find a way to get some points, and you don't want to go 0-3 to start the year, especially when you have Johnny Gaudreau and you're trying to desperately get back into the playoffs. Gustav Nyquist off the pass. He falls down, and this goes back now to Jesper Fast. Sebastian Aho. Play this one ahead with Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis trying to pry this loose. This goes back now to Boone Jenner. Centered out in front near the right post. Couldn't get kept in, but Teuvo Teravainen will dump this in as Rod Brendamore's squad can take their change as we've hit the 9-minute marker of the third period. We've noticed that Columbus, toward the start of the year, if you follow any season previews, need to be a lot better on defense. And no, I will not pancake them as far as this effort, but against these teams giving up 4 goals, just not going to be very good, especially when you have the goaltending tandem of Elvis Merzlikins, Daniel Tarasov, and Jonas Korpisalo. And they were not good last year, Merzlikins and Korpisalo. And Tarasov, I thought, has been as good as he could possibly be at this point, although maybe one of the goals on the floor he would have just liked to have back. So Boston made it a 5-2 final as they got a pair of empty net goals. So again, that was updated as we follow that one along. So we have about 8:10 left to go in the third period of this contest. It's been all Carolina in the third. It's 4-1. Off the backhand side, try to get picked up by Johnny Gaudreau, but there was a host of Carolina red jerseys that kind of knocked that one out of the way as we're down to 8 minutes. 41 shots on the shot board to 30 in favor of the Hurricanes. Freddie Anderson taking his time and behind the goal cage, and a long pass. Marty Natchez kind of misread it, and instead he's just going to be the one forechecker there. He's just trying to bother Eric Gerbranson to pick up there from the Calgary Flames. Gerbranson will crisscross, try to go back in between Sean Corrali, and that one goes just wide, picked up now by Marty Natchez. He didn't know where the puck was, and he thought he got hooked, but no matter, Jacob Slavin was able to find this one now as Johnny Gaudreau will take another line change. And if I'm being diplomatic, I'll leave it like this. Johnny Gaudreau has been very silent in his first game with the Columbus Blue Jackets. No points and only 1 point to speak of for the Blue Jackets. No assists across for Patrick Laine with the wrong wrist shot snipe 11 seconds in before hyper-extending an elbow. Columbus trying to go left to right across the radio dial. As this one goes back to Carolina, they dodge a couple of checks there. Picked up now by Svechnikov. He lost it. Columbus trying to make something happen in the high slot, but Freddie Anderson had no traffic. Saw it all the way. Made the save as Matthew Olivier comes together. We get a TV stoppage. 6:51 left in the third. It's 4-1 Carolina.
So like I'm getting a new car.
What's going on, everybody? I appreciate everyone that's kind of bounced around the YouTube side following in. It is a 4-1 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes over the Columbus Blue Jackets. If you're a Columbus, Ohio fan, I'm sorry. I know it's a Michigan man over here trying to give you the play-by-play of the broadcast, if anyone cares about that side of it. But Patrick Laine did score the first goal of the contest, but he left in the second period shortly after with a hyperextended elbow. They're calling it an upper body injury at this point, and Johnny Gaudreau does not have any points either. So it's just 1 point for Patrick Laine for Columbus, and it was unassisted. So now the next two games will be the Tampa Bay Lightning and the St. Louis Blues. So it's going to be a tough sledding part of the schedule, and something that hopefully Columbus can find their way through, because you're going to want these points early throughout the year. The two goals that were scored in the third period was Marty Natras at 6:29 from Derek Stepan and Jordan Martinook, and then Andrei Svechnikov at 9:18 from Natras again, and Paul Stastny. Again, Paul Stastny signed a one-year team-friendly deal to go to Carolina. So between Stastny and Burns and Andre Kasha, they're going to try to replace Nino Niederreiter and Vincent Trocheck. And really, Carolina, what they need is the health of Freddie Anderson. So back in the official action now, it's yet another draw win in the defensive zone this time of the Carolina Hurricanes, and they've just been absolutely dominant in that part, as we've hit 6:30 left to go in the third. This gets dumped down the ice and fluttered as Jesper Fast tries to get in there with Derek Stepan. Columbus just trying to make something happen as Boone Jenner gets fought off the puck. This is Gustav Nyquist now. Nyquist trying to find it there. Aho will dump this one down there. Stastny also trying to get on there as well for Carolina. Nyquist trying to find it, trying to center a pass near an open right face-off dot. It is. You're going to look to shoot the wrist shot, but this bounces back to Sean Corrali. Here's a chance for Zach Werenski, and that whistle just wide. Fluttered down the ice. Carolina trying to get this out. They do. We've hit the 5:15 marker of the third period. Carolina will be attacking right to left in this period with the all red, and the Columbus Blue Jackets left to right with the white top and the blue pants. Werenski tries to get a piece of it now, but good active stick work there by Carolina to brush that puck away. They're going to have to start east to west on the radio dial now on the side of it and break into the offensive end. They've not been able to do much of that here in this third period, as it's been all Hurricanes. And again, of note with the Hurricanes, it doesn't matter in the regular season or the playoffs, but in the playoffs, they just couldn't score. But in the regular season especially, when they get a lead, they will put the vice grip on you and hold it. 5:17 left in the third. They're up by 3. Let's finish this game when we come back.
And zero surprises. So we promise that we'll treat you right. We'll put you in control. And all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy. We'll drive you happy. At Carvana.
Okay, this is a freezer, not a time capsule. Sometimes the house itself can tell you how a young homeowner is turning into their parents. Yeah, they're gone.
So it's a 2-2 tie for Toronto and Montreal. 5:56 left in the third. Your baseball scores: the Atlanta Braves have taken a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the seventh. They need to win this one to tie the series up in the best of 5. The Padres have a 3-2 lead going into the bottom of the third. The Dodgers will be up at bat. The Padres are trying to make this a 1-1 series. So the first baseball game between the Braves and the Phillies is on Fox, and the other one is on FS1 if you're curious and want to keep tabs on that. I may flip over once my game is done to the conclusion of Toronto and Montreal if you want to stick around if that game is still going. Before we close out the stream for the night, and before I have to write the game story for Carolina and Columbus. I may or may not be back solo or with a partnering up of Cooper Hopkins with the Colorado Avalanche and Calgary Flames tomorrow. I'm going to try to get him on the cast if he's available. If not, he can't force anything. I'll do that game solo. So we're going to get back into the official action here. There's not much left of it. 5:14 left in the third. John out here with you from PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's just good to be back calling NHL games that count this time. It was fun during the World Juniors about a month ago, but now we're back into the NHL action. And again, as we get an icing, I'll just make a mental note of it. Whether it was Major League Baseball, NBA, or NHL, I should be covering all of that, and especially the NBA and NHL seasons will be coast to coast all the way through the regular season into the playoffs, into the finish. With ESPN Plus and an NBA League Pass from NBA 2K23 Championship Edition, this is going to be good. So if you guys want to see certain games, hear certain games, work with me on certain games, let me know. I will be here. Another face-off win for Carolina, and a shot there by Brady Shea, and that one was stopped there by Daniel Tarasov. Let's pull up the Carolina Hurricanes depth chart here pretty quickly, as we're going to get close to get settled out in this contest. Shot gets floated out and stopped there by Freddie Anderson. And we will do this as it's 4:43 left to go in the third. Carolina enjoying a 4-1 lead over Columbus. It was a much anticipated debut of Johnny Gaudreau, but the unfortunate reality of it is this: Patrick Laine missed most of the time after scoring 11 seconds in the second period. He left with a hyperextended elbow and left Johnny Gaudreau pretty much by himself, and you not seen much of Gaudreau in this contest. So it's a lot different. Instead of playing with the Calgary Flames, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment, trying to get a team that wants to get back into the playoffs and off a 7-year deal. So picked up now by Jordan Martinook and across the red line, and it's intercepted. CBJ with a few last more rushes down the ice that didn't get so, but an offside entry as a pass across from Nyquist to Jakub Voracek, and we will have to do this again in the neutral zone. 43 shots on the shot board, 4 goals for Carolina, 32 shots on the shot board, 1 goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The next contest, again on Bally Sports Ohio side, will be Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, when the Blue Jackets are at home and they welcome the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are fresh off of the loss yesterday in the Eastern Conference Finals matchup, as Mika Zibanejad was able to deliver the pain and beat Tampa, as Carolina has iced this puck to prolong this third period beatdown, if you will. 4:14 left to go in the third. John on here with you on the call, as always. We are at PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina, for game numero uno between Calgary and Columbus. Sebastian Aho, he's been excellent on the draw. He's already won double digits, and I venture to say he did lose that one. His faceoff percentage is still in the 75 percentile. Jalen Chatfield tried to get this one to Martinook, and now here's a breakout chance for Aho off a 2-on-1. Zeph Jarvis. Aho will hold. He's in the high slide. He's going to leave it for Teuvo Teravainen. Shot. Good stop by Tarasov. It's loose. Brushed aside there by Columbus. And they will play crisscross as Adam Boquist will drop this to Zach Werenski. And now here's a chance for Justin Danforth. Danforth trying to play this one ahead as Jalen Chatfield will circle this around the kick plate. 3:30 left to go in the third period. Daniel Tarasov will play this here for Adam Boquist, and we will do this again in behind the cage of the netminder of CBJ. Turned over. This is picked up by Jordan Stahl and Brett Pesce and Brady Shea, one of the best second-line defensive pairings that you could ever ask for in the NHL right now. Are just taking their time. They usually don't make a lot of mistakes, and especially when you got Paul Stastny out there with Andre Kasha right now, there's not a lot of mistakes to be made, but there's a lot of hard work. Shea, Pesce, Shea through the screen. It's loose. Try to get centered out back to Shea, and Carolina will have to hustle back, although it is a 2-on-1, as Brett Pesce will get to pick this one up. Stastny tried to find it. He got slashed near the red line by Chinikov, and that was not called. 2:52 left to go in this third period. It's all over for the crying at this point. Johnny Gaudreau maybe gets one last shift. We'll see if he gets a chance to maybe make something happen. Maybe not with 3 goals. You don't pull the goalie, but We'll see what Brad Larson wants to be conducive to do because this game's probably already over, but maybe you can get some 6-on-5 practice. Who knows? Marty Natures kicked off the draw, and we'll see who that will bring in. Jesperi Kotkaniemi will win it, but it falls back to Columbus. Columbus now just a few more shifts up and down the ice, and this game will be over unless a miracle happens. Daniel Tarasov, Boquist, and this one will stay in the neutral zone. Andrew Peak wanted this to go over the glass, but it did not. We'll do it again. 2:37 left to go in the third. So anyone that's followed along or still listening, in the comments section on the YouTube side, you let me know what you think of these two teams, and you let me know what you think of whether or not Columbus can find their way into the postseason, and whether or not you think Carolina is probably still going to lead the Metro, because I think the narrative is still the same. And wouldn't you know it, Montreal has taken a 3-2 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs, so that could be pretty interesting there for Steve Dangle on Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle in the podcast. That would be a bad loss to start the year. I know it's just game one, but still, it's a back-to-back, I believe, for Toronto the next night. And splitting time in between Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov. So Columbus has this now as they're trying to transition in through the neutral zone. And this goes down the ice, picked up by Carolina. Jalen Chatfield trying to get a piece of it with Calvin DeHaan. DeHaan, Trill's trying to circle around. This gets picked up by the captain, Boom Jenner. Plays it off the stick, fighting off the body of Jalen Chatfield. Is doing some yeoman's work here. Matthew Olivier still with it, trying to center it out in front, but Derek Stefan will clean up the mess in front of the cage of Freddie Anderson. Columbus running out of time here. They need to make something happen, and it looks like they're going to run out of time with 1:30 left, and they're down 3. So Daniel Tarasov now, he's going to leave this here for the defensive partner in Erica Branson. So Jake Bean and Erica Branson are out there right now. Everybody's standing and waving the towels here. And maybe some of these other ones for Carolina, I'm sure it was a sellout tonight, are going to the early exits because they know their team is going to have a comfortable win. 4-1 lead with $1:22 left to go in the third. So thank you for joining me here tonight in this contest. And again, we will figure out our assignment tomorrow, whether it is going to be a solo shot or if I'm going to get joined with Cooper Hopkins on Calgary Flames and Colorado Avalanche. I'm going to try my hardest to get Cooper Hopkins in on the call. Loose out in front and went just wide of Tarasov. That would have been a wide open net to shoot at. And Toronto has just tied it after Montreal has just scored. So it's 3-3 on that side. We're going to flip that over as soon as our game is done. Carolina trying to finish off this last minute strong. Jesperi Kotkaniemi has it now as Svechnikov will crisscross. Here's a chance for Brent Pesce. Now with Shea. Here's a chance now for Svechnikov and Kotkaniemi. He lost at Kotkaniemi still with the yeoman stick check work. And Carolina able to pry this loose as we've hit the 30-second marker. Pesce and Shea. The offside is blown dead, so Columbus, they find this one. They're going to try to press in front of Freddie Anderson and block that vision out. Boone Jenner and Olivier. Olivier's got it now. Shot goes wide. 10 seconds left to go as the flags and towels are waving. And we get a stoppage as the play's blown dead with 11 seconds left to go in the third. So I will stick around on the YouTube side once this game is over because I think we're going to get a overtime between Montreal and Toronto. So as soon as this game is done, I will flip over and we will close out the Colorcast broadcast shortly after. But we will close out the recorder after this 11 seconds. It's its finale. Neutral zone draw, won again by Carolina. Calvin DeHaan dumps this one down the ice, and that will do it. Carolina gets 2 goals in the third. They win this one 4-1 in front of the home crowd, as Carolina has got a pretty cool tradition when they meet at center ice and salute the fans. But that's our final officially in this contest. Patrick Laine had to leave with an injury, and Columbus had to lose their first game in the Johnny Gaudreau debut. Carolina wins this one 4-1. Have a good one, everybody. I believe we're going to see you tomorrow night, whether or not I'll be flying solo or staying in here, but I will leave this Colorcast side open for a moment as we will join in progress Montreal and Toronto. So let's join this in progress before we officially close out our side. We will close out the ESPN Plus so I can get to the game. I should be able to get to the overtime before we even start. So I'm just going to leave this window open because our game's officially over, but we'll get some extended coverage here. Just let me pull up this Maple Leafs Canadiens game. "25 seconds left to go in the third. It was Caulfield and Suzuki buzzing. There was a stop there by Matt Murray. Montreal's got another score! 18 seconds left in the game, and I think Montreal's going to win this contest. Anderson gives Montreal the late goal, so we just joined this in progress, and I think Montreal's going to steal this game with 18 seconds left as Sheldon Keefe has to look on. In stunned amazement, Josh Anderson scores with 18 seconds left. So I'm glad that we were able to do this before we closed out the ColorCast side. Josh Anderson stonewalls Matt Murray, beats that one with a sick wrister near the right side of the bar. A perfect shot. He was down to try to cover the 5-hole. The shot went high. No chance for Murray as he slid the wrong way. And Montreal might get their first win of the season, I believe, before they play the Red Wings on Friday, if they don't play tomorrow. So let's just double check. Do they play tomorrow is the question, or does Montreal have the day off? So I know the Maple Leafs will play tomorrow. They're going to play the Caps off the back-to-back, and Montreal is going to be 1-0 heading into the season if they don't give up one with 18 seconds left before they play the Red Wings, who debut on Friday. So Toronto is going to have to suffer a tough loss, maybe, off the back-to-back, and the Caps suffered a tough loss at the hands of the Boston Bruins, so it'll be two 0-1 teams playing off a back-to-back on ESPN Plus tomorrow. So Toronto has pulled the goalie. They have 18 seconds to work with, but they lost the faceoff. Josh Anderson at the 1942 mark. It gets dumped down. Nick Suzuki's got his second point of the contest. Toronto's got about 6 seconds to work with on the empty net. They're going to run out of time. This gets blocked. Josh Anderson gets the game-winning goal. He gives Montreal the win at home ice. They knock off the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they spoil Matt Murray's debut. And now we're going to see what happens tomorrow when the Maple Leafs and the Capitals square off when Ilya Samsonov takes the net. So thank you for joining me, everybody, here tonight. That was a little bit of bonus action, and we will see what happens here tomorrow night. I believe I will be on the call for the Flames and the Avalanche. It's either going to be solo or partnered up with Cooper Hopkins, and I hope it's a partnered up case because I'll be looking forward to that one. Peace, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.